What's up, kitty? Let's see. Hopefully we're good. Get on in here. Hanging out with the cat. Of course. Give people a few minutes to get in here. I guess we hit record. What's up, kitty? How you doing? Doing my YouTube chat. Proper. Kitty. Stream is good. Stream health excellent. Alright. No, I'm doing that vertical stuff. Alright, says we're good. Alright, we got somebody already liking the chat. Get in the chat, guys. Say what's up. How you guys doing tonight? Let me know. I know I haven't streamed in a minute. Like October, I think was like the last time I streamed. Something like that. Haven't done this in quite a while. I used to do like more gaming kind of stuff, but I don't know. Not really feeling the gaming so much. Let me see. I'll get my chat in OBS going. 1 second. Pop out chat. Copy the link. Where is that? I mean, fiddling around with it. All right. How you guys doing? Let me know. We're gonna get into it real quick. This will probably be, VOD later. Probably break it up. But we're gonna get into it. There's some stuff to discuss today. We're gonna follow up on the Don Lemon whole incident with the church. Sneako, Fuentes, Tate brothers, Tate associates, they all got banned out of all of South Beach, Miami. It's a pretty crazy situation. I mean, what can you say? They control the media. They control all of Miami. I mean, it's a heavily Jewish area. We know that. We don't want to get banned on YouTube. We might stream on Kick it sometimes, so you guys let me know. Hey, what's going on, Red Pill Cup Podcast? All right, guys, get in the chat. Tell me, how are you guys doing tonight? Let me know. We'll cover a little bit of Canadian stuff at the end here. I know we got some Canadians that always watch the show, so get in the chat. Tell me what's up, guys. How you doing? All right, so we're gonna get straight on into it. Make sure I'm recording this. Like I said, I'll probably upload this later. All right, guys. So we gotta follow up to the whole Don Lemon situation. You guys remember yesterday that he stormed in to some Baptist church in Minneapolis with a bunch of Black Lives Matter people, some Antifa people, a bunch of other quote unquote, they call themselves journalists. It was very clear that he's coordinating with the people, and then he lied, he obfuscated, and just straight up lied that he wasn't associated with them. So now he's in a real like hot seat. This is not good. So this is Benny Johnson. You guys probably know him. He posted breaking. DOJ announces intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act. Get that. The KKK Act makes it illegal to threaten, hurt, or intimidate people to prevent them from exercising their God-given rights. Harmeet Dillon, who I believe she's the Assistant Attorney General, she goes, the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes. It's a law that makes it illegal to terrorize and violate the civil rights of citizens. Whenever people conspire this, the Klan Act can be used. Everyone in the protest community needs to know that the fullest force of the federal government is going to come down and prevent this from happening and put people away for a long time. Yeah, it's not looking good for Dawn. So we'll hear.
We will pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us.
Yeah, they threw the book at pro-life people using this FACE Act, and it's been over 24 hours now, and Don Lemon has not been charged. As we know, that whole crowd was not charged as of yet. I know it's federal charges, so they probably have to do a little bit more investigating, but
funded this. What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this?
You're about to make a podcast on the whole Don Lemon story. Go for it, bro.
Those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
I mean, there's a bunch there.
I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned.
It's a bit of, I'll be real, like, it is more culture war slop, but I love it. Like I was saying in the video the other day, it is nice to be kind of handed a bit of a bit of red meat, because, you can, obviously, this can justify a lot more right-wing force from the government, right?
And this is a act that was passed in 1871, correction there, to combat the Ku Klux Klan and protect African Americans' voting rights.
That's so crazy, man. They literally went there. They went and charged a gay black man with the Ku Klux Klan Act on Martin Luther King Day. Like, happy MLK Day, bro. You like being controversial? It's right up your alley. I mean, be controversial, bro. I mean, if that's
especially
you, for sure.
The enforcement.
Don't get banned, though. I mean, listen, I mean, early on in the channel, we had Hassan Piker mobs come after us and get us a community warning, and we got, little like down traffic. So don't get yourself banned up
there. Which is known as the Force Act. So here's some of the information on screen. Would you mind breaking down for us, because we have just read the FACE Act and how this is an affinity to the FACE Act, an obvious and egregious demonstrable violation of the FACE Act, because they were entering a place of worship, harassing and threatening. We just played a video of a bearded man, who was threatening to attack the Christians that were...
Yeah, that guy was screaming his head off. I mean, that guy rightly deserved to go to jail. Like, what the hell was that guy on? Definitely on some drugs. Like, I think his name was like Doe Woke Farmer or something like that. I come from kind of the attitude where I'm like, yeah, like, this is funny. It's memeable that it's like the Ku Klux Klan Act on MLK Day, right? And it's like a gay black dude. That's funny. But it's like, in a perfect world, this would be like, perfect blasphemy laws right here. Blasphemer advocates for blasphemy laws. Always keep that in mind. You could throw the book at people for blasphemy, in my opinion.
Worshipping there, so it seems like an obvious FACE Act violation. But the Klan Act here, it is on screen. First time I've heard it mentioned. Can you unpack this for us, Harmeet?
Yeah, the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes, and it goes back to the time when President Lincoln emancipated the slaves, and yet the southern states, Dixiecrats mainly, were refusing to give them equal rights. And in fact, that you had sheriffs and you had law enforcement harassing the newly freed slaves. So the Klan Act is a law that makes it illegal.
Wish your Rumble would do better. I mean, Rumble just sucks, bro.
To terrorize citizens, to violate their civil rights, to get together and conspire to violate the civil rights. It is often used against law enforcement, but is now used against others as well. So whenever anyone conspires to violate the protected civil rights of American citizens, the Klan Act can be used to bring a conspiracy charge. We, in the federal law enforcement parlance, call this 241 and 242 civil and criminal conspiracies. And so
let's see it. I want to see it. Let's do this. Absolutely. You're totally impeding on people's civil rights. Liberals are going to try to wash this away, and they already are. They're already apologizing for Don Lemon and what he's doing. He's out of his mind, out of his rocker. I mean, just the fall from CNN. I mean, how crazy is it, man, to fall from that?
Biden administration did is three grandmas got together to pray outside an abortion clinic for the souls of the people inside, and including the unborn children. They would say, oh, that's not just a violation of the Klan Act. That's a conspiracy to violate the civil.
Arguably, it's like an anti-Catholic, like targeted thing. Like you could definitely say arresting people for just being good Christians or being, you know, it is clearly kind of anti-Christian to totally like arrest somebody for praying. I know there was the viral clip in England where the British police arrested somebody. Yeah, make an example of Lemon and that vile black woman for sure. That lady, oh, I don't even want to call her a lady, but the, you know, the woman with the real long dreads who was organizing it all. I mean, just grotesque. All the people around them too are just, they come off as just devilish, man. Like to do something like this actually is devilish. But like I said, try not to get too offended, guys. There's people already getting super offended for us. You know, we can use this, right? It's not that bad, really. Yeah, bro, get your video
rights
out.
Of women going in there to get abortions. And so we're going to add additional charges and punish that more and make it from a misdemeanor under the FACE Act to a felony under the Klan Act. And President Trump pardoned the...
Bro, doing shit like this used to be like capital punishment, bro. Like let's be real, the West used to have some balls, all right? Like, you know, I'm not one to like big up like Islam too hard, but listen, they got some merits, all right? They're a little martial, all right, about their religion. You know, they'll stand up for themselves a little bit, you know? I don't agree with it all the time, okay? But
the pro-life protesters in those cases, I have recently defended successfully in the 11th Circuit a case called Oropesa, a case of Jane's Revenge, the pro-abortion protesters violently attacking crisis pregnancy centers in Florida. And we had the court uphold the Klan Act criminal enhancement to the FACE Act. So I know this is very deep in the weeds, but the point is there are a number of things. The Klan...
No, you got to get deep in the weeds. I totally forgot that they were actually like straight up like firebombing and like blocking like abortion clinics. I mean, I know that they, or sorry, what was called crisis pregnancy centers. Yeah, because the left hates that too, right? So Christians set up these crisis pregnancy centers that pose as abortion clinics, and they get these girls in who are on the verge of having an abortion, and then they talk them down. It's actually really smart. This is like a tactic, and you know, it is kind of predicated on, you know, you are kind of deceiving them into thinking that they're receiving reproductive health care or something like that. I mean, it's the true Christian version of it, though. Don't kill your baby. We know the statistics. I mean, I'm sure you guys, if you guys are on the side, you guys know that it's something, excuse me, it's something like 99.9% of abortions are completely elective, meaning that like there was no medical intervention like required at all.
And the FACE Act is just the start. Like I said, you have material support for
and the way that like this like stopping abortion clinics just by posing as a fake abortion clinic, it's just such a meme, but it's actually worked. You'd actually talk people down. I'm ambivalent on religions, but I'm disgusted and tired of the normalization attacks on Christians and Christianity. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, no, I have like totally like a bunch of friends that are agnostic or atheists, but they feel targeted by this too, because it's not just an attack on Christians. It's like if you're secular or you're like agnostic or atheist, you also realize this is an attack on the West, right? This is trying to destroy Western civilization.
Disruptive activities. You have conspiracy to violate civil rights. You have potentially the use of other instrumentalities to commit crimes. And so some of these folks who did this have self-identified. Don Lemon himself has come out and said he knew exactly what was going to happen inside that facility. He went into the facility.
I mean, he self-snitched on himself completely. Like, I didn't play you guys the entire like Don Lemon stream the other day because it was pretty long, but there's the whole run up to it where he's in the car, he's talking about his time with operating with these guys and how we got to keep it a secret and all this and that. It's like he's clearly going to jail for this. He was lying to his audience about coordinating with them when the organizer, the BLM organizer, she put out a Facebook post thanking and congratulating everybody for the operation, for the planning of the operation, and she was also thanking Don Lemon for making sure that the secret operation didn't get leaked to the public before it went down.
And then he began, quote unquote, committing journalism, and as if that's sort of a shield from being an embedded part of a criminal conspiracy. It isn't. And so, we're getting our ducks in a row. We're putting the facts together. And this is a very serious matter.
Yeah, you're acting as a propagandist for essentially what could be construed as an act of domestic terrorism against Christians. Like, this is definitely a hate crime, right, guys? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, if you're going to call anything that happens to a Jewish person a hate crime, if you're going to call anything that happens to a mosque a hate crime, this meets the definition, obviously. It's a target attack. You went, and they'll be like, oh, well, it's because the officer was or is employed by ICE. I mean, that is no excuse. That's a law enforcement officer. That's a totally legit and legal job. You can't just dox somebody and tell an angry mob to go after them and let alone disrupt a church service. Yeah, I mean, I think the punishment should be way more severe than whatever this like civil rights kind of hooboo, mumbo jumbo, whatever this Ku Klux Klan act. I get it. It's a felony, but let's be real. This should be like a lot more tough.
Next Sunday, nobody should think in the United States that they're going to be able to get away with this. Everyone in the protest community needs to know that the fullest force of the federal government is going to come down.
These things take time, right? I know these things take time, guys, but I feel like the government could just be acting so much quicker in all of these cases.
And prevent this from happening and put people away for a long, long time.
What we got here? So Donald Trump, what are you going to say? Watching that child crying in the church as it was under siege by Lemon and those evil terrorists was rage-inducing. Absolutely, man. Yeah, that kind of photo went super viral, dude. Like so many people saw that one with that dude. He was holding his son, and the son was crying, and the mom was comforting him. That went super viral, bro. These people have totally they've shook the hornet's nest. This is not good. So Donald Trump here. He's somebody's retweeted his Truth Social post where he retweeted some girl on X, okay, because that's where the meta that we're at now, who said a small group of elderly ladies were protesting at an abortion clinic and were given 40 years in prison for violating the FACE Act. I would like to see the same kind of sentence for Don Lemon and the people that broke into that church and did that during services. But there you go. The president is absolutely calling for them to be arrested. That's the thing, though, is that right-wing Twitter will always, get all their panties in a bunch about it, yell, scream, but it's been over 24 hours so far. Nothing has really happened. It's kind of disappointing. Once again, Trump, where are you guys? Like, where are the feds? Where's the National Guard? That's truly what I'm wondering. Like, are they just sitting outside of Minneapolis, And this is like tragic, man, because Minneapolis used to be a really nice town, man. So, okay. You guys don't remember this gem, all right? This is one of Don Lemon's greatest hits, all right? So if you don't remember, there was in 2017, there's a kid who is abducted by some teenage gang members in Chicago. And he was disabled, and so they bound him up, and then they just started torturing him on live stream, like straight up. I mean, you guys might remember this was a long time ago in 2017, but disgusting. Nicki Minaj had the most accurate tweet about Don Lemon. Oh, she was based. We might pull that up later. Keep putting out more music, bro, to your channel with you on the guitar. I really enjoyed you put it out earlier. Thanks, bro. Maybe start letting us see your thrash metal experience, which I know. Oh, yeah, that's coming, bro. Thank you, Windrower Attack. Yeah, no, Windrower Attack, you're based. Shout out to Windrower Attack. You're actually, he's actually really good at guitar. Check out his channel, guys. He has a great cover of Tens by Pantera. So check him out for sure. Yeah, thanks, bro. No, I'm definitely going to keep doing more music stuff. Yeah, and yeah, for sure. More music stuff definitely coming on the way. But yeah, Nicki Minaj, she straight up, can I even say this on YouTube? But she called him, I'll just pull it up, bro. I'll just pull it up. It's vulgar, bro. It's vulgar. Thanks for, remember that event of that guy being tied up and attacked? Yeah, okay, let me play that clip before I forget. Okay, so you guys remember back in 2017, that, yeah, that happened. That some black gang members in Chicago live streamed some torture, right? This was it was like a disabled kid, right? I think he was like autistic. Yeah, it says.
That's what this is. It's evil. It's brutality. It's man's inhumanity to man. And
this is Don Lemon's response.
I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's evil. I think these are young people, and I think they have bad home training.
That's what this is. It's evil. It's brutality. Bruh. It's man's inhumanity to man. And
I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's evil. I think these are young people, and I think they have
That's
bad
crazy, bro.
That's what this is. It's evil. It's brutality.
I remember when he said this back in the day, and people were like, "Whoa, that's unhinged. That's a little unhinged, bro." Did you even see the video? The video is crazy. Thanks for wearing your proper suit and suit coat like a gentleman. Thanks, bro. Thanks. You know, I'm gonna expand on the suit wardrobe, guys, for sure. You know, I'm brought over to the side of the suit now. Absolutely on the side of the suit. A lot of guys dress very casual, very sloppy. Home training. He's trying to push that it's all nurture and it's not nature at all. Like genetics don't matter is the implication. True, dude. I mean, listen, he's I don't know. I think the degeneracy has gone to Don Lemon's head, guys. I'll be absolutely real. All that. Oh my god, here we go. This is based. All right, this is Nicki Minaj's tweet. You guys can read this. Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. I mean, based. Listen, I don't even listen to Nicki Minaj, but that's gas. I'm not gonna lie. So that's the update on Donald Lemon. We haven't seen any charges yet. You know, we got Donald Trump tweeting about it. We got, you know, the assistant AG, I think Minnesota or federally, I don't even know. Every man should own a nice suit coat. Absolutely, dude. No, absolutely. I'm gonna probably get Hugo Boss next. This is like a Tommy Hilfiger suit, so I'm probably gonna expand to Hugo Boss. You know, expand my horizons slightly. So, you know, we got people tweeting about it. We got people appearing on Benny Johnson, you know, doing the rounds. But so far, there's no word of any of these people being in custody. Look, I know that it takes time to do federal charges, but things could move a lot more faster in this administration. It feels like we're constantly just waiting around for things to happen domestically. Foreign policy wise, seems like things are moving a lot quicker, right? I mean, you guys know since the beginning of the year, a lot more, you know, the whole meme that nothing ever happens was proven wrong for sure. Domestically speaking, though, the main issues of why, I mean, I'm assuming a lot of you guys voted for Trump. Why you guys voted for Trump. The reasons why you guys voted for Trump, all right? They're not being accomplished. I'm optimistic they're going to go for it. It's going to be spring and summer. I mean, there's the theory that they're trying to agitate the left super hard so they can get an even bigger crackdown and response. I mean, we'll have to see how that goes, really. I think it's a dangerous game to be playing because it seems like to me that the left is arming up right now. If you're seeing a lot of leftist posts on Blue Sky or X or YouTube, they're arming themselves, right? They're doing training, right? This isn't, you know, they're actually lifting weights and shooting guns. You know, they're getting ready for the war, you know, the Civil War. Don Lemon was doubling down with the ghoul face, Jennifer Welch. Ooh, damn. Yeah, he's ugly, bro. It's bad genetics for sure. Like Don Lemon, listen, there's a lot of black dudes out there that mog, okay? But that Don Lemon is not one of them, okay? Let's be absolutely 100% about that. All right, Don Lemon does not mog. There's a reason he's gay. All right, I think there's one of the reasons like some men become gay is because they're ugly, right? They don't think they have any play. They don't think they have any riz or sauce. I think it's like the easy way for them, you know? It's the easy way out is what I'm saying. It's kind of gross, right? You know, that's when you're really black-pilled, right? Is when you're gay, right? That's actually the truth. So, I mean, yeah, so that's about it with Don Lemon. We'll probably move on to Clavicular, Sneako, and Nick. Just getting the next video ready. Get this stuff out of the way. All right. So they had to prove that the Jews run everything. Can I say that on YouTube, by the way? Can I say the Jews just run everything? You know? Yeah, Blasphemer. I enjoy your vids. Came for the Nick clips, stay for the insightful commentary. Your old vids with an old microphone are absolutely unwatchable. LOL. Thanks for upping the quality. Absolutely, dude. No, I mean, that's for real. My setup, like a few months ago, man, was ass. Like, absolutely ass. So, no, for sure. Like, I'm totally aware, bro. I'm so thankful for my audio quality going up. So, let's get straight into it. Clavicular, Sneako, Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, and Nick Fuentes have officially made it on the Miami news after being seen celebrating to a controversial song. I wonder what song, guys. The mayor of Miami Beach has officially banned them from coming to the city. So, hold on to your hats. This is going to be a little crazy.
Now we're learning from management of the club that employees have been fired and policies have been changed after what happened Saturday night.
People laughing and celebrating Heil Hitler and Adolf Hitler. I cannot believe we're even seeing this and witnessing Miami Beach.
A Miami Beach nightclub catching heat, accused of celebrating.
That's crazy. You got the mayor of Miami, bro. That's literally the mayor of Miami Beach.
Policies have
right there.
And Adolf Hitler.
Mayor Stephen Miner, Miami Beach. That's crazy, bro. You know you broke the internet when you got the mayor of Miami Beach coming out and condemning you.
I cannot believe we're even seeing this and witnessing Miami Beach.
A Miami Beach nightclub catching heat, accused of celebrating hate with a song about Hitler.
Celebrating hate, like, bro, it's a song, bro. The song actually slaps too. Like, let's be real, bro. Everyone's always waiting on the next Ye drop. Like, listen, I've been listening to Ye since I was a kid. But isn't Florida like super J-ish? How is he elected? Who are you talking about?
Absolute disgust.
Disgusted, horrified.
City leaders
disgusted and horrified. Is this a hoax?
reacting
No,
to
this is
videos
real,
making
bro.
the rounds on social media featuring the
got
Kanye
on,
West
bro.
song with the lyrics.
And so yeah, all of the right-wing slop accounts were out in full force when this happened. They were all shitting on all these guys because, you know, they have to, right? The hate on Clavicular is just retarded, okay? If you hate on Clavicular, you're just stupid. You don't get the joke. You don't get the meme. It just goes to show that you probably have a really old brain. You probably need to do some cognitive enhancers, if you know what I mean.
Heil Hitler over and over again. The same men seen in the club, known as controversial influencers, are also in a video from a limo. In that one, they're singing, and one of them is performing.
It would be better if Ye was doing a live performance of the song with Sneako, Fuentes, and Tate. I mean, bro, I bet Ye is just completely banned from all these places. Ye's HH is an absolute banger. It is. It's a good song, bro. Like, straight, I'm not even glazing. Like, it's actually just a good song. It's made the news. I'm laughing my ass off. So dumb. I know, right? It was like, how, like, of course, but it's because they coordinated. I mean, do you guys see Steiny from Nelk? Steiny from Nelk, if you know that guy. Steiny from Nelk, he coordinated, I think on his Facebook or something like that, he started just being like, I'll Venmo people or something like that. I think he was saying I'll Venmo people if they'll mass report this club, right? I forget what the club's even called. Classical Guitarist praises Ye. Absolutely. Wang Af stream. Absolutely Wang Af stream, bro. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'll throw down a little riff on a Ye track for sure. If you ever want some of my guitar work, you know, I'll always slide through.
Forming a Nazi salute.
To have people in our city celebrating this. Animals.
This is obviously not welcome in Miami Beach. It should not be welcome anywhere in the world.
And by the way,
it's so forced. Like, come on, dude. You, as a white guy, how do you even like bring yourself to be this cocked? Like, exactly. Oy vey.
I spoke to other club operators. They are not welcome in their club. How they got into this club, open arms, I want to know how.
Vendome. It was Fresh, right? Like, Fresh has connections all over South Beach, right, in the club scene, and he got in, and they play the song because they know Fresh, right?
The videos are
they're way more listen, they have way more motion. All of these guys have way more motion than anyone else in the club, all right? Let's be real. A lot of people were mad because they just didn't get into the club. They saw the stream and they were mad. It's Ananda Showa. Absolutely.
From Saturday
bro.
night. This one inside the club vent.
It's Ananda Showa for sure, bro. This is like a Holocaust. Oh, did it delete your? It deleted it. Yeah, it deleted
Dome
your
at
chat
743 Washington Avenue. The club releasing a statement on social media that reads in part, "We want to be unequivocally clear."
And see, this is the major thing. This is the problem that everyone sees, right? Is that this, bro? You know I didn't delete your comment, all right? That's YouTube. That's the YouTube New World Order right there, bro. The AI is out of control. These clubs play all sorts of gangbanger music. Like, literally, it's out of control. Like, every single song is about, like, you know, can I even say popping your pussy? Yeah, I mean, it's like strippers, they're popping their pussies. They're doing insane, crazy shit. All right? They're talking about shooting people in every single song.
Vendome and our hospitality group do not condone anti-Semitism, hate speech, or prejudice of any kind. Sunday night,
it's like, bro, it's a song, too. That's the thing. You guys suspend your disbelief when it's a song talking about drilling and sliding, and you got switches, and, you know, I know what the kids are talking about, guys. Listen, I may be a classical nerd metalhead, but I know what the kids are listening to.
Mayor of the county responding to what happened with this. Hate has no home in Miami-Dade County. Mayor Daniela Levine Cava goes on to call for swift accountability to keep our community safe and respectful for all. Monday, Vendome released a new statement explaining this isolated incident involved 3 people which have been terminated from their employment and are no longer affiliated with Vendome.
Damn, 3 people lost their jobs. I mean, man, we got to find out those 3 people, bro, and we got to put them on. You know, they got to start like streaming or something like that. That's tragic. You lose your job over this. This is silly. You know, there's a famous clip or 2 from Thailand when the song came out. It was being played in like every bar in Thailand. They don't care. They're like, they thought it was awesome right away. Ben Shapiro is frantically looking for some pearls to clutch. I know, absolutely. I know, it's crazy.
As for the men in the video celebrating the song, they're being told to stay away from Miami Beach.
You're disgusting human beings, and I don't want to see you in Miami Beach.
Away from Miami Beach.
You're disgusting human beings, and I don't want to see you in Miami Beach.
You're not welcome.
It's disgusting, it's shameful, and you are not welcome in Miami Beach.
Big mad, dude.
The new statement from Vendome also explains that many changes have been put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again, and they say those influencers in the video are now banned from their club. We're live in Miami Beach. Jessica Hawley, 7 News.
Reaction is, I mean, all the guys, of course. Well, listen, this is just one club scene, all right? I know it's giga Jewish. I mean, that guy was, I mean, he couldn't be a much more of a caricature right there. I'll leave it at that. We're getting into what the guys think, you know, but this is clearly, it's such a ridiculous overreaction to a song when you guys play songs that are all about shooting people, all about obscene, you know, sexual stuff, doing drugs, right? I mean, look at just the toll that drugs have done on Western society. I know I've lost, you know, multiple people myself. Why is that okay? Why is that normalized when you can just go out and you can glorify drug abuse, right? But, you know, glorifying, you know, what a lot of people consider to be a great man of history, you know? So let's get into what Clavicular thinks here.
I'm not sorry. I do not apologize for what I did.
Based.
I would do it again today. All right, so you can ban me from clubs, you can shit talk me on Instagram, but I'm not sorry about any of it.
That's based. That's the right attitude. Hate speech is subjective and always will be. That's the thing too, is you can always just make it up. There is no like nuance and opportunity when you're dealing with something like hate speech. I'm glad Clavicular had balls to back up Sneako. I mean, Yeah, that's the thing too, is that him being like the you know, sorry Caps, I'm high and excited. No worries, bro. No worries. What was I gonna say? Clavicular. Yeah, so bro, the real, like, that's the thing. In the content world, there's a lot of fake friends, right? And I think Clav has spoken on this before. There's a lot of fake people out there, man, that will just want to collab with you for clout and stuff like that. You know, somebody like Sneako, you know, and Nick, they're good guys. They're also very religious, right? You know that they're not going to break their vows to God, you know, when it comes to like their honor. So that's really, to me at least, that's what actually matters the most, is being a stand-up person in your life and having a good reputation. Nah, me and the homie Sneako. Listen, there's some listen, Sneako has kind of a bit of a lolcow past, okay? I have an all caps, excuse my keyboard is broken, based. Bro, you smash your keyboard? That's based. Nah, I mean, listen, no one's above being made fun of, bro.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Do not feel bad. Nothing. Okay? Fuck the clubs. I would rather have free speech and the ability to make jokes and do content 1,000 times over, rather than being a little bitch who, you know, has to censor himself and do all that shit. Because if that's what's required to go into these dog shit Miami clubs, then keep me the fuck out. All right? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, those clubs don't even look that fun to begin with, bro. Straight up. Like, I know Nick was saying he likes the sensory overload. Lolcow, you mean low IQ for Sneako? Come on, bro. Don't be so hard on. No, Sneako's mine. Come on. No, he just has a different opinion, bro. We're gonna get into what happened. So, Sneako update says a Jewish Miami club promoter called Sneako to say he's officially banned from every club and restaurant in Miami, Florida, and tells him he doesn't want to be friends anymore. Bruh, this was crazy.
So I'm banned from everything?
That's what I hear.
From who? Who said that?
You're banned from virtually. Am I on stream? I don't want my face on stream.
Oh, okay, yeah, just put your voice.
So this guy's like a major promoter, and he knows Sneako from way back.
You're virtually banned from every single hospitality group in the United States.
Like what?
Tao Group, Good Hospitality, H-Root Group, virtually every restaurant, every venue, every nightclub. You're pretty much banned for your anti-Semitic remarks and your absolute racism and your hatred towards Jews. I thought we were friends.
We are friends. You don't want to be friends anymore?
Oh, I haven't been your friend in over a year, my man. Your anti-Semitism is blatantly disgusting. It's very, very offensive.
I'd rather be friends with Nick Fuentes and Ye than any other bullshit, LOL. Absolutely, man. I mean, listen, this may be the internet, and we can tell what people are like from a distance, all right? This kind of club promoter guy, this is not the kind of guy you want to be quote-unquote friends with. This is an absolute snake right here, guys.
You know, I've hosted you
super lame.
Taken care of you. I've been a true friend.
I mean, this guy right on the phone right here is like torching he doesn't want to be on the stream, but he's really torching his reputation doing this. I know he's got his own reputation, but this is so everyone. Look at the chat. They're saying organized Jewry. Yeah, it's so obvious. It's like, how can you're an absolute caricature of your own people by doing stuff like this.
And all I've ever received from you is hatred, racism, and just anti-Semitism.
When have I been racist or hateful towards you?
You always say smirky remarks. It's always been against Jews.
What's smirky remarks? I never talk about politics.
He can't name one. Watch, this guy's not going to be able to name an incident.
Whenever we talk, we hang out. You bring it up. I don't talk about it.
You're an activist, but you never bring up any other world problems other than Jews. And you know what?
That's also not true. I've gotten pushback for talking about Haiti, for talking about what's happening in America. I just spoke about what's happening in Iran. I talk about the whole.
Sneako gets. What are you talking about, dude? Sneako puts his neck out there for like when he was like talking about like how he was against the intervention in Venezuela. Bro, like that's whatever that I respect. I maybe vehemently disagree. I'm quite the imperialist. I know, wah, 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 oy vey, wah, wah, wah from this guy on the phone. My God. I may disagree with Sneako, all right, here and there. I'm not a Muslim, obviously. I'm a Christian, so I disagree there. I'm very pro-intervention in Venezuela to an extent. I don't want like an Iraq-style regime change, engagement like that. This is an organized attack. I feel bad for Sneako here, to be honest. Yeah, man, like, people will talk about like, oh, you're grifting and you're making money off of, talking about like the JQ or whatever. Bro, there are so many consequences that come with sticking your neck out there. We'll be like, this is just one example. This is not even a very crazy example. You can be absolutely in good faith and have no ill will, really. You're just like bumping a song with your friends at a club. I mean, it's a viral song and they're gonna come for your neck, dude. At the end of the day, I guess, like, listen to the actual lyrics of HH by Ye. I mean, they took my kids from me and then they took my bank account, right? Feel like I'm stuck in the Matrix. Where the hell's my nitrous, right? How these fuck on my bitch? I mean, it's a hard song, bro. Listen, I bump the song all the time. I like that song.
Whole world.
Yeah, only when it's trending, honestly.
Well, that's when it's relevant to talk about. And I speak about injustice.
Yeah, Jew's mad. That's it. I mean, literally, bro, Jew's mad. So, I couldn't make it through the Tim Pool. I couldn't make it, guys. I mean, Nick was forcing us to watch Tim Pool today. I couldn't do it. I stuck through the first, half hour or so, and it was just Tim and his whole gang just babbling, bro. Honestly, there's a reason I don't watch that show, but we're getting into, Nick's take
Joining
on
us
it.
tonight to talk about this and so much more, we've got Nick Fuentes.
Hi, what's going on?
Not a lot, I guess. For a lot of people, it's you. After your trip in Miami and,
Yes, after we went hard.
We
pulled up to the club. And,
Myron's...
How people, same LOL, how normies watch that shit is unbelievable to me. Dude, Tim Pool is insufferable, dude.
Getting you guys in trouble and the club's mad and...
Yes, well, we got too lit. That's what happens when you have too much motion. We pull up to the club.
I think...
it's an incident internationally.
It's interesting because for the size of your show, it's a big show. You have an outsized presence. So my point here is I don't actually think you need to introduce yourself of all the people we've ever had on. Joining us today.
He didn't. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen. I never watched Tim Pooh Hole. Oh, my God, dude. But I heard he met with BB secretly. What more do you need to know? It's not even secret, bro. He talks about it in the episode. I watched the first a little bit of it, and he asks Nick, he goes, would you ever meet with Donald Trump and Netanyahu in the White House? And Nick goes, no, I value my life. I don't want to die. And Tim goes, well, I met with him and everything was fine, So no, Tim Pool's a charisma black hole. Absolutely. I mean, Tim guys, so mean to Tim. I mean, Tim cool, guys. Oh yeah, there was this walkout from a while ago.
I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about...
It is them, though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018...
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about... Are you leaving?
Based.
Are you afraid of the press?
Based, yeah.
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up? And then think we're not going to have a conversation?
Have the discussion.
Like you think Ye's going to come in here and say, here's my pain, here's my suffering. I'm going to say, I hear you. And then he's going to say, and it was Jewish people. And I'm going to be like, okay, but don't you consider it's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Make sure.
How is that not insane? Foreign government? Yeah. Bro, the media people meeting with foreign operatives and straight up heads of state, like, bro, Tim Pool, this is why I never took Tim Pool really seriously, because he was part of that whole tenant media scandal where it was exposed that a bunch of right-wing influencers, podcasters, and live streamers were all taking a big bag. They're all taking big money from Russia. He was Russia bribed. Yes, exactly. So who else was it in that? Was it Lauren Southern or somebody like that? There was a few other people, smaller names. Tim is obviously very big, right? Tim Pool gained a lot of weight since that Fuentes and Ye interview. Did he? It doesn't seem like that much. I mean, hasn't he been working out? Nah, you're right. Nah, his face has gotten a little bit fatter. Hey, listen. It's not like I haven't gained a little bit of weight, too. Didn't Tim Pool have an emo band and a music video, LOL? Yeah, dude, don't listen to it. It's bad. Oh, my God. Like, dude, I know some really bad punk music and metal. Like, there's some... Just in my deep diving of metal and punk music, I found some really horrible acts, and yeah, it's not good, dude. It's really lame. It's like pop punk skateboarder kind of music. It's not, let's just say it's not very manly, all right? Like, the kind of band, the band like that I'm in, the kind of music we play like extremely, heavy, aggressive music, go fast as hell. It's really like, music for, war or like working out, like that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, he was scheduling for MLK Day, like, what it is. So no, I don't like that pop punk kind of stuff,
There's Israel derangement syndrome, and these are the people who claim that, like Candace Owens, or the people who claim that Charlie was murdered by Israel derangement syndrome.
You look
like,
great. Thank you,
Charlie
for
just
Christ.
got an award by Israel.
Scream
He
metal?
did a panel
dude.
with, I think it was with Andrew Colvett, to try
Like
and convince
Blasphemer?
young Gen Z to support Israel. What was it, like 2 months before he was murdered?
Better than Tim Pool.
So that's Israel derangement syndrome. Criticizing a government.
Bro, the Brady Bunch band better than Tim Pool, like that's easy, bro. Tim Pool sold his soul for 30 pieces of silver. Damn, bro, that's harsh. Emo band? How the hell does he have an emo hair in his toque on at the same time? I mean, Tim Bold.
And focusing on a government I've never had a problem with. But what's happening now with Candace is she's sucking all the air out of the room and sounding like she's retarded. And so, the point being with CBS.
Like, Candace is stupid as hell. Like, Candace is like lives in a trap house, all right? She's like hangs out in front of the liquor store smoking cigarettes, all right? Like, that's Candace, all right? The phenotype too, like her facial structure just looks all messed up, all right? There's plenty of black people out there that don't look like how she looks, all right? She's like, and white people, we have our own kind of people, like trogs, right? They're like trailer trash. In British, in Britain, you might call them a trog. They might even have a different word like for that. But
Is looking
Candace
like a
is ugly,
genius.
bro. I never thought she was
broken
very pretty.
news that was biased towards weird woke things like child sex changes. And I think whether it's intentional or otherwise, I don't know. But again, I love what CBS is doing. Like when I'm pulling up articles now and I'm trying to track, say, like the riots and stuff, CBS is a literally balanced article explaining it.
Although I have like a bunch of American like heritage and family though.
Where I can say, hey guys, don't look at me. It's a CBS. It's
my grandmother is American.
Not some right-wing publication. It's not some activist. It's a corporate news outlet saying this. So I think
glazing CBS, bro. Like, how do you just got to know that he's absolutely bought and sold. What Candace had a dream about Charlie Kirk, LOL. Yes, if you guys haven't known, he's Charlie Kirk's a time traveler, right? Him and Candace had a goofy text message exchange, and he was like, oh, like she's like, I'm an alien. He's like, I'm a time traveler. Like a goofy millennial kind of exchange. He's trying to be like a wholesome chungus. And she's like, oh, he's a time traveler because he uncovered some ancient Sumerian technology, that was gifted to him by like Hammurabi or something like that. I'm America first. Absolutely. America first. Listen, I'm in the Sudeten land right now. I'm like, Ontario is like, Southern Ontario is like what Austria is to Germany. All right. We are one people. All right. Soon to be united. All right. Thank you for streaming. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Charles Manson was eating the Fruit Loops on my porch yesterday. Damn, bro. Ontario is India. Absolutely right, dude. Oh my God, based. Dude, don't get me started.
What she's doing is fantastic. Again,
we're going to get into
TikTok,
Canada in a minute.
I think they realized, this is funny. The one time Democrats and Republicans come together. TikTok, after October 7th, had a huge surge that appears inorganic to be promoting anti-Israel content in favor of Palestine. Whether that's true or not, we don't know, but it does look like it because it was a massive shift in a matter of a couple days. Democrats and Republicans all of a sudden agree TikTok must be owned by the United States.
Yeah, they sold it literally to like Benjamin Netanyahu's one of his like close friends, literally Larry Ellison, who's donated to the I think it's like $30 or $40 million personally out of his own bank account to the IDF. Give me a break. It's run by Bari Weiss, a literal Israeli spy. Excuse me. I like your accent. Is it pure Canadian? Yeah. I mean, I've lived in Canada my whole life, so
right
it's definitely pure Canadian.
It's very obvious the issue was Israel.
Are his balls in a vice, or is that his normal voice?
So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, Donald Trump doesn't care, in my opinion, one way or the other. He wants to be supported. He wants to do what's most popular thing. I think he cares about tariffs. I think he cares about the border. But on the foreign stuff, he's like, just you tell me what to do. That's right. I think the military-industrial complex, which with its ancillary arms, however you want to describe it, MI6, Mossad, U.S. deep state working together, Five Eyes Spy, all that stuff. They're basically like, okay, if we want support for Ukraine, if we want support for Israel, if we want Venezuela, if we want Greenland, child sex change is costing us elections. Why don't we drop that stuff, pull the moderates back in our boat, prop up somebody who makes the people who oppose us sound like they're retarded? That's what seems to be happening.
Well, I would say that what happened, because I'm totally in agreement with you. You know, there was a statement that was given to the World Jewish Congress about 25 years ago in the 1990s. They call it the State of World Jewry. That's the speech. And it was given by some Jewish activist. And he said that the American Jewish community is inseparable from Israel. He said, and when Israel gets sick, American Jewry catches a cold. And that's basically what happened after October 7th, is that Israel's attacked by the Palestinians. And what they saw is that the far left, the radical progressives at Harvard and elsewhere, they supported Hamas. They were sympathetic to the Palestinians. And so all of a sudden, these like left-wing Democrat Jews like Bill Ackman, Sean McGuire, and some of the other notable ones, I'm thinking about who's the other guy, the tech guy, Jacob Hellberg, was one of the first like little tech guys to max out his contribution to Trump in March 24. These are all, and many of them gay too, by the way. Like Jacob Hellberg is like a gay liberal Democrat. All these guys,
a lot of gay Republicans now. I think it's that Bronze Age pervert influence. A bunch of people around JD Vance in the Trump administration are just straight up gay men. They're straight up like atheists. Yeah, it's not
guys are
cool.
lifelong Democrats, but after October 7th, they flipped and became Republicans. And it's because Israel's attacked, and they said, oh, and literally...
Did you see Candace's stream claiming Charlie Kirk was a time traveler? I saw the clips. I mean, bro, I'm not going to subject myself to like a whole hour of
Bill
that.
Ackman publishes this open letter to Harvard. Oh, I have this epiphany. The left has gone too woke. Censorship is out of control. Harvard needs to have reform. They overthrow Claudine Gay at Harvard and install a Jewish doctor. You know, that's literally who replaces him. And I think that they're sliding into CBS on much of the same kind of sentiment. They're sort of drafting behind the conservatives. These like Jewish people realize that the Democrats are beholden to the radical left, that are at least going to restrain the Democrat support for Israel. Like in the Biden administration, you know, the Biden National Security Council was drafting memos saying you can't give 2,000 pound bombs to Israel. And there were Senate Democrats that want.
Yeah, this is like a thing with the Democrat base, is that they can't go too hard on the pro-Israel stuff. They know that it just doesn't work.
On an oversight. So they said if we want an...
Like, and this is also the thing, too, is that people like Hassan Piker, he always stops himself short of actually crossing, you know, the red line of, you know, the JQ. You know, I don't even think we can actually say the full thing on YouTube. But, you know, the JQ, right? Hassan Piker never actually goes past that line, all right? There's a few reasons. You know, I've talked about how the left lacks the infrastructure, the language, because they're so class obsessed, they can't actually focus on other groups, right? Because it's a group identity thing. When you're using class, you know, you're using basically identity politics, except you're using a poverty form of identity politics. They also completely lack the way to, you know, they lack agency in a way. A lot of these really like low IQ leftists is because the origins of socialism, of communism, of Marxism is in a lot of European Jewry, a lot of, you know, 19th century and 20th century European, mostly European Jewish thinking, right?
All out pro-Israel policy. Republican Party is open for business. And so that's when all the money came in. And the other thing is, it's Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is tight with Netanyahu. He funded the CBS takeover. He funded the TikTok takeover. He's a donor for Trump, and he's basically a conservative. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that so much of the pro-Israel stuff has a home in the GOP. They're inextricable. You don't get one without the other. And my issue with it is that a lot of Republicans think we are making a deal with them. And the deal is something like, okay, we'll be pro-Israel and we'll do some pro-Israel things. In exchange, we get Republican governance. But we are not in control of this relationship. You
get nothing. You vote for Trump over and over again, and you get nothing. Well, the donors, the Jewish billionaires, they get what they want over and over again. They don't have to work that hard, okay? They drop a few $100 million into Donald Trump's pockets, and they get what they want. You vote by the tens of millions, all right? You guys, all right? Get out there, and a lot of you guys probably voted for Trump, right? You should feel cheated. He's not delivering on on what he campaigned on in deportations. Tim Pool did deal.
Madelson is. Ellison is. They get their back scratched. We don't get ours scratched. We went to war with Yemen. We bombed Iran. We're going to bomb them again. Do we have mass deportations? Do we have charges for Democrats? No, we don't have anything. So that's my issue with it is people think it's like this deal, and Israel's like Bane. They come in and they're like, do you feel in charge? It's like, no, I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of... The Republicans are running a tough shot of just sticking with the pro-Israel line the entire time, for sure. Tim Cool, he says. I mean, what else? They're talking to, everyone has the same opinion on Don Lemon. Let's be real. If I did a poll right now, everyone would be like 100% lock him up, right? I don't even have to do that. Okay, so we just got people giving their takes. We're going to move on to the next story. The Canadian story. I know it's gripping, but this has to do with America. Of course, this has to do with America. So, Mike Pompeo, former CIA director, it's a bit spooky. He tweeted today, Mark Carney's decision to pivot towards China is a grave strategic and moral error. Beware any leader who would sell out his country for a mess of pottage. Now, he's absolutely right. But coming from the former CIA director, he was under, I believe, Trump and Obama. Might have served under Bush. I don't remember. But once you're CIA, you're always CIA. Let's be real. This is quite the turning point, really, when you have people like this, very big stature in American politics, comes out and they say, this is a grave strategic and moral error. Can't say that anything about that one country in the Middle East because the algorithm automatically removes saying Israel. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, bro. The AI is just like totally J-coded. So, if you guys don't know, Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada went to China. He's been on a world tour as of late. So first he went to China, of all places. Now, if you don't know, China has severely infiltrated Canadian government, Canadian elections, just Canadian politics in general. Morality and CIA. I know, right? I know, like this guy has like this guy, Mr. Drone Strike, has any sort of grounds to stand on his pulpit and moralize. I don't like moralizing. Moral error, they're probably going to tie that to the Uyghurs. Let's be real. I'm not upset because of the Uyghurs. All right. I'm upset because Canada is basically become a China vassal state. All right. That's what we are. So if you guys don't know, where is it? So mass amounts of EVs, of electric vehicles from China have just been approved for import. Basically, there was a heavy tariff, a tariff of 100% that were on Chinese electric vehicles coming into Canada. This was in line with American tariffs, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there might be an outright ban on Chinese EVs into the United States. Mr. Drone Strike goes hard. I mean, you're a director of the CIA. You should have some kind of like war waging kind of name. General Drone Strike would be hard. So this deal that Mark Carney has sparked with China, this is overall a terrible deal. Yeah, these cars are terrible, dude. Yeah, do you know how many Chinese EVs explode? All the time, dude. I see videos of them lighting on fire all the time. That was like a Fisker, right? If you guys remember the car brand Fisker from a few years ago, I don't apologize for caps, bro. They were left out in the rain, and this is the whole idea, is that you have an electric car, but as soon as it like water touches it, it would just like explode. It would like light on fire. Didn't Pompeo try to kill Julian Assange? He did, yeah. That was Pompeo. So, I wouldn't listen to Mike Pompeo about moralizing. But once you're CIA, you're always CIA. He was former director. So they are using him as a way to signal, right? Is this a signal that the CIA could start conducting operations in Canada? I mean, that's what the CIA is kind of for, right? $30K for a Chinese EV? It's that expensive? So this is like doubly stupid too. So I saw Elon Musk was talking about this. This is a really stupid move because if you guys don't know, the batteries and a lot of the parts for Teslas are already made in Shanghai. There's already like a Tesla factory actually. Why are they manufacturing American imports? It's just cheaper to make Teslas in China, right? I believe it's for the Chinese market. Like they want to build them domestically in China, right? Because Tesla wants to have part of the Chinese market share, right? They're competing with, other Chinese EV companies as an American company in China. So they have a big factory in Shanghai. Elon Musk announced today, he's like, well, this won't really affect us. In fact, the fact that you guys just lowered tariffs on EVs coming from China from 100% to like 6% or like 5%, that's good for us because we have a Tesla factory in Shanghai. So we'll just ship cars from Shanghai to Canada and we'll make way more money. In fact, will that quota already, they say it's like 49,000 EVs coming into Canada. That quota, he said, we're going to eat up. Like Tesla is already going to take up like almost all of that 50K of cars that you're letting in. All right. So, if you think BYD or any of these little Chinese EV companies that make shitty little cars, by the way, they're not really going to do very well. I mean, Tesla's already got it on lockdown here. Julian Assange once tweeted, America first equals Israel first, Saudi Arabia second, with pics of Trump and Netanyahu. Wild. I mean, Julian Assange, right, is a leftist, if I'm not mistaken, right? Julian Assange, he believes that, a lot of the woes of the world come from American imperialism. And listen, he exposed a lot of the bad things that, the American military, right, the American government was doing in Iraq, right, for instance, right? The notorious video of the Apache gunship killing those journalists, for sure. I mean, in the way that they went after him and treated him, right? Absolutely, it's messed up. Keep in mind that Julian Assange is not fighting for the same reasons that we're fighting, okay? He's an Australian. He identifies with the left, clearly, okay? He tried to, he fled to Ecuadorian embassy because Ecuador is the only country, it being a leftist government at the time, they didn't want to cooperate with the United States, right?
What evidence do you have that these Chinese EVs would spy on Ontarians or listen to their phone calls? What are you basing that on?
Well, it's very simple. When the Prime Minister and his team are over there, they use burner phones. You're making a deal with a country with burner phones, and
so this is the Premier of Ontario, guys. This is Doug Ford. This is like the governor equivalent, all right?
Prime Minister did mention when he got elected that the number one country for national security threat is China. And we know when you hook up your phone, they're going to be listening. Simple as that. And anyone who doesn't believe that is very, very naive. So
yeah, how could you not understand that too? And this is not only that. There's a huge Chinese diaspora in Canada. There's millions of Chinese people and people of Chinese descent. Assange is right. What about American imperialism? Get out of here, buddy. No, dude, we're actually pro-empire over here. We're America first, all right? Nah, like, listen, Assange has criticisms, like, whatever, of, like, American military wrongdoing, because he exposed some legitimate bad stuff. He's not doing it for the same reason that we expose the inner workings, all right? He criticizes Israel because he sees it as a base, an American military base to launch operations. It's an extension of American imperialism, all right? We on the right, we do not see it that way. They are transnational they're a Jewish group, all right? That's what they are. They're transnational, all right? And what they're doing is they're subverting our government. They own our government, all right? That's why we use the phrase Zionist-occupied government. So we're coming at it from a completely different angle, all right? Like, we're not, if you're on some, like, oh, like, leftism is good and shit. No, absolutely not. No, I'm pro-empire. I'm pro-American empire.
Well, we're going to...
But by that logic, are you concerned about the Chinese-made
is there any diaspora that you don't have in Canada? I mean, facts, bro. We let in, like, the entire world, dude. Yeah, exposing the military behavior. Yeah, like, that's good and stuff, but, you know, Assange's, let's be real, Assange's motivations, right? I'm saying he did a good thing for exposing that stuff. That's good, don't get me wrong. But let's be real. Like, is he doing that because, you know, he wants America to be on the right track and he wants America to succeed and he doesn't want America to kill innocent people or whatever? No, it's because he wants to see America fall, all right? Yeah, so is there any diaspora that you don't have in Canada? Nah, man, Canada's completely compromised. Ukrainians basically own our government.
China, are you concerned with that?
I'm concerned about
so the Chinese
cybersecurity and the threat of
no,
China.
Assange is not pro-Israel.
That's what I'm concerned about.
But Assange is a leftist, right? Like, that's why we're saying we don't have any allyship with the left guys. Like, don't get it twisted. Just because some leftist says that they're anti-Israel and you're on the right and you're anti-Israel, that doesn't mean that you're allies, guys. Like, these people want you dead. You see what's happening in Minneapolis right now? The people on the left want you dead, all right?
So we're going to always make sure that we...
and they want to see America weak, all right? That's why they're mad at Israel, all right? It's like, and then the Muslims, all right? And I can understand the Muslims because that's their homeboys, all right? That's Israel is primarily killing Palestinian and Arab Muslims, all right? That's their homeboys, right? Their homeboys are dying, right? So I get that, but that's not my country, right? You know, I have friends that are from that part of the world, right? Mainly Christians, right? That fled ISIS, you know, make products that don't violate our privacy. Weird.
We think twice before we...
Yeah, I mean, let's be real, bro. If you're driving around a BYD Chinese car, you're an absolute fool. I said this on Twitter the other day. Follow me on X, guys. You know, I'm always going off. But I said this the other day. I'm like, you're the biggest fool in the world. If you're some, like, elbows up Canadian and you're going to drive around a BYD car and thinking that you're not being spied on. There's a large Chinese... I forgot to finish this point. There's a large Chinese diaspora in Canada. Millions of people. A lot of students that end up staying. A lot of this is actually to spy on Chinese citizens in Canada, right? So you guys might not know this. If you're American, this might sound insane, all right? And you might not believe this. You can look this up. I'll probably show you in a minute. But there are Chinese police stations in Canada. All right, let me say that again. There are Chinese police stations in Canada. All right. This is like one of the worst things, all right, that our country has allowed. I'm talking about literal, like, Shanghai, Beijing law enforcement, all right? The police officers from China, guys that would be walking the streets, patrolling over there, doing their investigations in China. They bring them over here, and it's part of the consulate, right? It's part of, like, the Chinese embassy. And they literally, if you go downtown Toronto, they have a Chinese police station. It's near one of their industrial banks, I believe. They have police stations in every major Canadian city, all right? It's insane, all right? I'm Canadian. If you look at the national population by percentage, the only demographic falling every year is people of European heritage. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Bro, so I guess just tell you, like, guys, like, where exactly, like, you know, I was, like, born and stuff. Yes, they're here too in Los Angeles at UCLA. Eurasians lost among Caucasians. That's hilarious. So I'll talk about my experience at college last year. We'll get to that in a minute. But so essentially, like, I was born in Toronto, moved out to Nova Scotia when I was young, then came back here to Ontario when I was young. So that's essentially, you know, my life story. You see the mayor of Miami address Ye's band song going viral. We just covered it, dude. The VOD would be out. You can probably rewind in the stream, but the VOD will be out in a little bit. So I forget what my main point was. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say. So I remember when Canada was really nice, bro. Like, you guys, if you're Canadian, you might remember how lit Toronto was, how nice Toronto was. Toronto used to be known as like a really nice, clean city. All right. Do they wear Chinese police uniforms and do law enforcement? Yes, dude. They walk around with Canadian police a lot of the time, so that doesn't like scare people too much. But they have literal Chinese police officers. They'll get a call about somebody at university or somebody, you know, a Chinese national breaking the law. All right. And then they'll go a lot of the times with Canadian police. And they'll go, like, usually interrogate and arrest people, ask questions. And they're enforcing Chinese law. Okay. I can't even make this up, bro. They're enforcing Chinese law in Canada. It's so crazy. You see the mayor. Yeah. I'm guessing you are pro free speech. Of course. Yeah. On that one for sure. Dude, the song is dope too. Like, are you kidding me? It's insane. You're right. This is surreal. It's absolutely insane to hear. Yeah, no. Guys, I'm telling you, for instance, okay, I know some other Asian countries have some similar kind of, it's not nearly like this, okay? So I know, like, you know, when I was in college last year, I was talking to some Asian girls, let's be real, okay? And I was one South Korean girl, she told me, she's like, oh, you know, I always wanted to, like, try weed. But if I go back to South Korea and they have any idea that I've smoked weed here, even though it's legal, they could lock me up. I was like, that's insane. She's like, yeah, you know, like, I knew a guy that he posted on his Instagram and he was like smoking a blunt, and then he went back to South Korea and he got arrested. Right. So, I mean, some Asian countries are kind of crazy like that. And it's not a joke. Yeah, bro. Like, you don't want to go to jail in South Korea, bro.
Have countries come in here and we get nothing back.
Somali.
We get absolutely, Ontarians get nothing back but a threat of jobs in the auto sector.
Do I claim Drake? I mean, Drake's got some songs. Listen, I'd be lying if I said I never listened to Drake in my life. But I don't really listen to him like that. I mean, yeah, they do. South Korea does have the highest rate of self-unaliving, dude. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, so Canada tops G7 with 6.2% food price surge in December. Statistics Canada released data January 19th shows grocery store food up 5%, restaurant meals rising 8.5%, outpacing Japan at 6.1%. Other G7 nations. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre blamed Prime Minister Mark Carney, as he always does. He doesn't have anything else to do. Yeah, you know, Pierre Poilievre is just such a wet blanket. Wow. So they're just complaining about the prices of food while Mark Carney is circling the world. You got Cat Turd tweeting about it. Yeah. When do I think China's going to take Taiwan? Well, I think it's 2027 was what most people are saying. And I kind of agree with that. I think Venezuela, I know I said that the op in Venezuela kind of pushed it back a bit. But now that I'm looking at like the numbers when it comes to like where China's getting their oil from, it doesn't really seem like that whole like taking Venezuela's oil is really going to be like that big of a deal for China, because they can just get more from Russia. No, I think that they are going to try to invade. I think it's probably going to be next year or the year after, 2027 or 2028. Xi's getting old. I think he wants to launch this and get it done and over with. I think this is really like a personal pet project for his life. I think Xi is a man that wants greatness above anything else. He wants to be, I think Xi wants his legacy completely cemented in the history of China, right? He basically wants to be remembered as a great Chinese emperor that got even more land for China and like defeated the separatists, right? So, yeah, I think, and are they going to take Taiwan? I don't know. Nick Fuentes thinks that they're just going to straight up like annihilate Taiwan and take it. This is actually an area that I disagree with Fuentes on. I mean, we're just talking like strategy, like war games and stuff like that, really. He's like Trump. I mean, Xi, yeah, he's sort of like Trump in a way, but I get what you mean, but I think Xi is a lot more cunning, to be honest. Yeah, there were Chinese delegates were there Chinese delegates were there when Maduro was taken. That was definitely to send a message. There's no way that they didn't know that the Chinese delegates weren't there in Caracas. I think they will wait until Trump is not there, or they are stupid. Yeah, I don't know about that, because Democrats seem kind of gung-ho for war. LOL, the Chinese space program sucks. The whole meme the CCP puts out, Americans think in quarter years, but our people think in 500-year-long empires. Yeah, this is very true, that because Xi is basically emperor, right? He's installed himself until death. That, yeah, they do have this, very way, it's an easy way to keep everything concurrent. Everything is going to go smoothly, Yeah, and their space program totally sucks too. They have failed launches all the time. Yeah, I pay attention to what's going on with the space industry, SpaceX, that kind of stuff. And America's just completely blown everyone out of the water, guys. Like, if it was one thing that you should take away from the success of SpaceX, is that whether you think about Elon Musk or whatever, that's an extremely important thing, all right? If you just look at the numbers, how much does it cost to get a payload to space, all right? That's the main factor in terms of scalability. How much can you do this? How much can you colonize space? How quickly can you do it? Hey, dude, cool to see you live stream. For sure, I'm going to keep live streaming all the time, probably do these videos live. But your cost to get to orbit, all right? Like, if your cost per pound is like, $100,000 to like $1 million, it's just not feasible to get stuff into space. But once you get it down below $10,000, and I believe the average cost, I mean, we probably ask Grok. Definitely a Grok question. Space is extremely important. We have to actually dominate space there. What Trump's idea of the Golden Dome, all right, is actually extremely smart, all right? We've talked about this on the show a little bit. Do you think the colonization of space would bring peace and unity to the world? Well, yeah, and I'll get into this a little bit, right? So the important things is that the private company doing it better, not the government. Yeah, it's just an argument for like why capitalism is so good. I was about to say, yeah, and liberty too, for sure. Capitalism and liberty clearly produces the best results. Remember, Grok's about to bring up the actual cost here. So I've talked about this a little bit before. America should actually dominate the world. It's a good thing. America's a benevolent force for good and liberty. I might sound like I'm from Fallout right now. Okay. Send 1 pound to space, low Earth orbit. What does it say? SpaceX. Yeah, we want to know SpaceX. Average cost. Yeah, there you go. It's extremely cheap, guys. Yeah, extremely. And as soon as you scale it up, it's anywhere from like $3,000 to like $1,500. I mean, Darth Vader would be American. Darth Vader's pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. So what was I saying? Yeah, so we need to dominate space. So a lot of people shrugged off Trump's idea of the Golden Dome, and if you go back on my my earliest videos, I actually made some kind of cringe video essay about orbital lasers, but I actually stand by that video. Everything was right. Golden Dome makes total sense, all right? And I'll explain. If everyone says you can't win a nuclear war, all right? That's unless you can shoot the other guy's nukes out of the sky, all right? You need to be able to do that. America has to have that capability. We actually have to have the ability to shield North America completely. Did this guy talk about Jewish space? He said, yeah, bro, I made a video about it. It's one of my first videos. Simpsons predicted Golden Dome in 2027. I mean, I hope in 2027, because that would literally be like Russia could send their arsenal at North America, and we could literally laser it or intercept it, do a bunch of things, and even crazier things, actually. Need me some Golden Dome. Bro, chill. Are you one of those Trump Gaza people? I don't know what you mean by that. So, there's other technology that can be used, of course. I think the Golden Dome system it's a really good idea. I've talked about this other idea before. Dr. David Kipping, he has a channel called Cool Worlds. You can go check it out on YouTube. He has an idea. He's a scientist, right? He's a physicist. He's an astronomer. His idea is that you can basically use subatomic particles, shoot them through the Earth or from a satellite in orbit, and you can shoot them at an enemy's nuclear arsenal and strip the very electrons off of the uranium inside of the nuclear weapon, rendering it completely inert, and they wouldn't know it out at all until they launch it, and it's just a dud. Golden Dome idea is awesome, except for underwater nukes that send a tsunami of irradiated water. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. That's the Poseidon, like the Russian doomsday device, right? Pro-Trump Gaza. Remember the meme with the bearded ladies? I don't, sorry. Then Orbital were bought by Northrop Grumman, so Hugh works there now. True, dude. So I think we should investigate as a nation. We have to invest in the Golden Dome. Threats like China, they want to get a hold in Canada. We have to eliminate any sort of hold on Canada that China has. All right, by any means necessary. China lost a strategic point in South America. They're going to lose more. China has something like over 30 ports, which are dual use infrastructure, right? Dual use infrastructure means that they can be used for commercial purposes. They can also be used for military purposes. So these countries need to get in line, especially Canada. You know, I'm Canadian, but this is like absolutely ridiculous. They're never going to break through the firmament, just saying. True. Trump posted memes talking about Gaza and setting it up. Kushner wants it, remember? Yeah, I know. I didn't remember exactly what you were referring to. No, of course. I mean, like the Trump Gaza plan, I think it's kind of silly. It's stupid. Listen, if you were going to rebuild Gaza, I mean, Israel should have to pay for it, right? They destroyed it, you know? I think that's only fair. How this goes, I mean, they want the Palestinians completely out, so they're going to do, like, whatever. I don't think that we should have, like, a little, like, colony in Gaza, like an American-run colony. I'm just going to turn my heat off. It's hot. There doesn't need to be any American colony in Gaza, like, whatsoever. This is, like, just a bad idea. Canada needs to have a beaver dome. I mean, the beavers aren't really a big problem, bro. A beaver dome. Yeah, so, you know, we're calling for help up here in Canada. We're saying, you know, we're blinking twice. We're sending the SOS. You know, we don't want a bunch of EVs imported. I mean, I know Mike Pompeo, your CIA, doesn't, like, he's not a very good guy, you know. But listen, guys. He's right about the grave strategic. I don't really care about the moral error, you know, guys. I don't really, like, moralize too hard. I'm not going to sit up here on a pulpit and, like, cry about the Uyghurs, all right? I just don't like my country being taken over. We are already the 51st state anyways. I know, guys. Canada and America are extremely similar, dude, in terms of culture, in terms of like what our countries are actually like. Like I was saying earlier, we are like what Austria is to Germany. All right. We are like, there's almost no difference. All right. I mean, there are some differences and stuff, but I mean, we're like Minnesotans, dude. We're like, you know, we sound like them too. You know? How can we help? I feel sick over Chinese occupation. I mean, listen, if you're American, just tell your American representatives to, I mean, listen, we got to push the, I mean, personally, I'm kind of making it my issue. Just so you know, I think way more like an American than Canadian, and I live here. Yeah, bro, I think like an American for a long time now, right? Like, let me tell you, like, how I kind of got like red pilled when I was younger, was getting into firearms, actually. I didn't really pay that much attention as a kid. And then, you know, I got into firearms. I was like, oh, this is like pretty cool. I started collecting, really because I was a gun nerd at the time. I'm not really anymore. I'm actually like, don't really care about guns anymore. Not really like obsessed with them. And so I got into that, got my license, and just the reaction from people, just, you know, it's so liberal, you know, people will literally, I got called like far right just for like owning guns. And back then, bro, I was a total normie. Like literally, like, yeah, I was probably like your average, just like normie conservative, you know, not really like super right wing at all. You know, back then, probably like 2018, 2019, just watching Steven Crowder, right, as extreme as I get. Kittens, send the army. Calling the army, kittens. Yeah. Yeah, I'm from Minnesota, and I heard your accent. Yeah. Do you watch Runkle of the Bailey? I do, actually, from time to time. Runkle of the Bailey's dope content, guys. Go check him out if you want to know anything about the crazy stuff going on in Canada. I'm from the southern U.S. Makes me sad hearing about what's happening in Canada. Also seems way too cold, personally. It is. So, I mean, listen, guys, like, even after Ontario gets turned into the 51st state, I'll be real with you guys. I'm going to where the sun is shining. I'm not too big on the cold. It's kind of a meme, but no, Canadians do not like to be freezing their asses off all the time. We're regular people, you know. It's not fun to be freezing your ass off. My local Walmart's been infiltrated by Jeets. They walk in groups of 3 and 4 and hang out in the parking lot. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so they've ruined like Toronto and like the local area, dude. It's insufferable. Like to be, bro. So, okay, I'll have to get into my college experience a little bit, right? This will make the YouTube video. So I went to Seneca, York earlier last year, back in January of 2025. I started. You guys are gonna, you know, make memes about this, but art. I went to, you know, I'm a failed art student. So make all your, you know, make all your memes right there. So I went, you know, I wanted to get into animation. I wanted to get into game design. I wanted to make video games and stuff like that. I was told that was the path, so I did that. And, you know, I tried. I applied myself. I went every day. It was cold. Dude, the transit is horrible. 2 hours each way in the freezing, like, Canadian January and February. It was so atrocious, dude. Like, that actually made me, you know, consider the bad options for sure. I'm just kidding. So the bus was horrible, dude. Like, it's absolutely swarmed with just Indians, bro. Like, and I you know, I have immigrant friends from other backgrounds, but they're not like Indians, bro. Like, I'm gonna be absolutely real. Indians, they take up like a ridiculous like amount of space. There's so many of them. They smell like crazy, dude. Like, and man, okay, so one time I was heading back from school, and this guy was behind me who's kind of elevated, and he's Indian dude. He's got a turban on, and he's got his hands, and then the bus lurches forward, and then he goes, and his hands go right into my hair, right. It was gross. Don't get me started. It's too many things like that. People coming onto the bus drunk. All right, I saw a guy come on. He was drinking, and he had his baby in a stroller. All right, and he's drinking, and he was mouthing off at the bus driver. I hate public transit. Public transit's the worst thing ever, dude. I actually hate it. I mean, there's places in the world, like Japan or like some places in Asia and Europe, where it's actually civilized, dude. It's completely uncivilized here. I hate it. It's so crowded. You see people getting into altercations on the news and social media on public transit all the time. So my experience in college was I was the only white guy there, dude. So like the first day, we had design. And oh my God, the lady, I thought she was white at first. We had a middle-aged, she's probably in her 40s, what I thought was a white woman. All right. And she goes, this is our teacher, and she goes, today we're not going to be doing anything to do with any of these crusty old white men, any of these dusty white men. That's not the curriculum. And I was like, damn, I was the only white guy, dude. And everyone else is black, brown, Asian, Indian. So, and then I went up and I was talking to her. I was closer to her when I was talking to her, and I realized she had a little Star of David necklace, dude. Bruh, that's when I knew. And so she was hating on white people, dude. What is history without crusty white men? I know, dude. Like, literally no history. There's no such thing as a failed art student. I went to Otis Parsons, and it was always useful for real. No, for sure. I mean, I'm not completely given up, you know. I use my design, like the kind of stuff that I learned in design, you know. I mean, I don't really like apply it really to my life, you know. I didn't really learn much, to be honest. Yeah, she has Star of David, dude. She was up there and she was staying like the era of like the old crusty, the dusty white male art culture. And she was talking about all the classical stuff, right? All the Renaissance and medieval era stuff. She was like, that's all gone, like an out. And then I realized, yeah, she's got a little Star of David. She's not white. She hates white people, right? And so I encountered this same kind of, not exactly like that kind of attitude. I had one cool teacher who ended up being a white dude, and he was into like Roman stuff. No, she wasn't trans. She was just an annoying Jewish woman, a Toronto Jewish woman. Ugh, real Karen. So, do we even have a chance? I mean, yes, we do, dude. You can't get black pilled. I mean, let's be real, guys. Yes, we have. So when I was saying, like, when I was younger, bro, and I was born in 97, all right? So, yeah, I'm technically a Zoomer, but I still remember when Canada was almost completely white. Like, Canada had almost no migration, all right, before, like, 2010, 2011, really. I've met a lot of Karens in my life. A lot of the Karens I've met in my life upon further early life research. Yeah, early life in the Wikipedia page. Yeah, the early life in the Wikipedia page usually gives it away. You know, if they have a Wikipedia page, you know. And if you're part of that group, you usually do get a Wikipedia page, even if you're very, like, low status and you got, like, no emotion. If you happen to be part of that group, you might just get a Wikipedia page that glazes you super hard. So I was saying. So I remember when Canada was completely, like, almost white. For instance, when my mom was a kid, back in the 60s and the 70s, it was like 95% white, dude. Like, whiter than America, right? Like, that's insane, bro. 95%. Like, Americans would come to Canada to be like, oh, need to get away from all the big stuff that's happening in America, you know, all the race riots that are going on. We should go to Canada, see your cousins, you know. It's like, that's literally like how my mom's, like, cousins, like, you know, a lot of family across the border between Maine and New Brunswick, where she grew up. Very, you know, intertwined life, you know, marriages on both sides of the border. Like I said, my grandma's American. You know, me and my mom and my father and all my brothers were all, like, born in Canada. So this is only 2 genders allowed in Russia, only 2, no gay marriage allowed either. Yeah, but Russia sucks, dude. Like, that's the thing. It's like, you have to live in Russia if you, like, yeah, just because they have that stuff, like, doesn't mean that they're dope, dude. Like, this is the thing. Like, no, I don't simp for Russia at all. There's a lot of right-wing people that, you know, they kind of glaze Russia, like Tucker, right? I acknowledge the reasons, the geopolitical, the strategic reasons behind why Russia invaded Ukraine. And I've literally been called by my own family. I've been screamed at by family friends, called me like a Putin apologist, right? But so I know that situation. I've taken heat before from explaining, the NATO buildup on Russia's borders. But I'm also not somebody that goes to the extent where I'm like, oh, well, that means like that Russia is good, right? Like, no, just because Russia, got built up on their borders, you could, in a way, say that Russia kind of had it coming. Russia, in their aggressive actions towards Georgia, all right? You're a great storyteller. It's so cool how you easily interact with us. Yeah, I'm going to live stream more. I mean, you guys are all cool, so, I'm always going to be here for y'all. Always making content. What was I saying, though? So, Russia, in a way, actually, they do actually deserve some isolation on the world stage, right? So we can kind of get into this, but post-Soviet Russia, what do? Well, they go to war in Chechnya, right? They also invade northern Georgia, right? The country Georgia. They also end up putting all sorts of military in Belarus, and doing incursions into Ukraine. So no, they are an aggressive actor, actually. They also had some hostile actions towards Japan, right, in their shared maritime borders. Russia doesn't have this stuff because they're poor. Bro, is YouTube just keep getting your messages, bro? The AI is going crazy, bro. That's crazy. So no, I think, like, for instance, like, why I'm very pro America taking Greenland, for instance, right? The GI-UK gap, right? It's a massive gap of seawater between Greenland, Iceland, and the UK. And Russia is able to run their tankers, right, and their naval vessels up and down the coast of Greenland and Iceland in the UK, in the North Sea there. And everything is all hunky-dory for them, right? Well, no, not anymore, actually. I was arguing with a lot of blacks all day. I think it hates me, bro. I think the YouTube algorithm might have cooked you. I mean, bro, you don't have to argue with blacks all day, bro. Come on. You got better things to do. They're not going to listen to you either, right? So no, I think Russia, their port of Murmansk in the north, absolutely deserves to be cut off. I think Russia is actually a pariah on the world stage. I know people will be like, oh, well, that's neoconservative or whatever. No, I think they're actually just our adversary. All right, I'll just pull up the GI-UK gap so you guys get a... You're lucky you lived. Yeah, dude. The crime in the city is a bit out of control. Crime in the city is crazy, bro. My neighbor's place over this past summer got broken into. They used like a crowbar. Yeah, they like B&E. They weren't home. It's like a empty rental. There's a lot of empty rentals around here. They weren't home, and then yeah, these guys went in, and then they didn't have any real belongings in there, so they got away with like a bunch of stuff. They didn't get away with really anything, I don't think. My neighbor, he's Asian, and he was like, oh my god, I was so scared because I thought they stole my Wii, like his console, like the Nintendo Wii. He thought it was gone, like his childhood Wii. He thought it was stolen, but he was good. All right, so the GI-UK gap you can see here, right? Up here we have the port of Murmansk, right, on the Kola Peninsula here. So Russia doesn't really have a lot of leg room. I thought you said they stole my weed. No, a Wii, dude, like a Nintendo Wii. He's Asian, dude. He doesn't smoke weed. So you see, this is called the GI-UK gap. So this is actually where that tanker was intercepted. The Bella 1 was intercepted, I believe, just around here near the Faroe Islands, something like that, by U.S. Special Forces, right? So Russia is using this, and this was a tanker that was trying to run the American blockade in Venezuela, and they were trying to deliver drones and weapons and receive a bunch of gold and oil. Weed. The weather in Canada is too cold for Afro-Americans. Bro, my black friends hate the cold, bro. I hate the cold too. So high on weed, I weeded on the Wii. Oh my god, dude. Open source capitalism, not this jury capitalism. I mean, there you go. You said it well, dude. I agree. No, people, and that's the thing, like I said, about the leftists, right? They will try to use anti-Israel talking points. All right, guys? They will try to use anti-Israel talking points to bring you in, and so that you can hear their anti-imperialist message, all right? This is why whenever somebody is weaving this into their talk, you know, you say you have a conversation with somebody to do with Israel or, you know, the JQ, don't let this American imperialism thing, don't let that ever sidetrack you. This is war. They want you dead. All right. And so those, you know, it's just imperative that you don't listen to their economic stuff. Anything that they have to say actually is stupid. Their criticisms of Israel are not even based in the same things that we have, right? They're not. We don't have the same criticisms of Israel that they do. Seymour Hersh. I mean, he's a journalist, right? Nord Stream 1, yeah. So Europe's kind of screwed over this too, right? So the whole Greenland situation, they're trying to act like America is not going to infringe on NATO, right? I mean, you buy all your weapons from America, right? I mean, European arms production is very, very low. They make very niche military products. American terrorism, right? Yeah, well, the EU coordinated with that with America, right? Like, let's be real. The Nord Stream 1 was a pipeline that went from Russia, I believe, all the way to Germany, right, guys? It was going to supply natural gas, and it ran under the Baltic Sea. It was blown up by presumably the CIA. I mean, it's pretty much out in the open now. We know it was CIA. They tried to blame it on Ukrainians, but we know it was American Special Forces in reality working with the CIA. So you get all your weapons from America, all right? Okay, well, now you can't really talk back to America, because what are you going to do in a wartime? Well, literally, you guys are buying F-35s. Like, all of you guys, all you European countries, yeah, you got the Gripen, you got the Eurofighter, Typhoon. That's not really anything. Like, let's be real. Going up against, they're not stealth fighters, all right? They show up on radar. You don't have a chance. You're going to get sniped out of the sky before you even see the F-35, all right? So they bought F-35s. They brought the ones, the export variant, which does not have as good as performance as the American variant, the actual F-35. Not only that, and this has been denied by the manufacturer, by American and European governments. They all deny this. They all say that this isn't true, but this is a real rumor going around for a while now, that there is a off switch, that the American government, in the event that a European nation either turned hostile or they fell to a hostile power and these jets were going to be potentially used against America, that America has essentially installed a kill switch in all of these export F-35 fighter jets. So they all deny it. They all say this isn't real, that there is no kill switch. Not only the USA, all manufacturers have that. Yeah, so we know this is a thing because Russia and China do this with their export stuff. I mean, it's been demonstrated before. Some people even speculated that the Russian anti-air defenses were turned off in Caracas. 65 people watching. I'm trying to guess the makeup. Around 7 honest emergent people, 24 J-ish Karens, 15 regular Karens, 17 simps. I mean, listen, bro. You don't need to pontificate too hard, bro. We're cool like that. We got cool people in the chat, bro. At least 20 feds. What's up, feds? We're not doing anything cool. We're talking about geostrategy, all right? Okay? We want the we want the feds in Minneapolis to do a good job, all right? If we can use the federal arm of the government, the American government that is, all right, to accomplish the tasks of the right wing, what is better, guys? I've never said that you should go out and be one of these boogaloo guys, right? I'm actually vehemently against that, right? So I've said from the start, actually, and a Fed would tell you to go do some boogaloo stuff, right? Those guys that tell you to go and, you protest with an AR-15 and a plate carrier strapped to you, right? At the state courthouse, right? I've always said that's a bad idea, right? I've always been pro-gun, all right? But I've always seen the optics, all right, of a lot of these boogaloo, these Second Amendment protesters, right? I think it's a horrible idea, right? So I think the optics are terrible. I mean, what happened in the wake of a lot of those protests, there's a reason you don't see a lot of these far-right Second Amendment open carry protests anymore, is because the feds crack down on them, right? And we can't be hypocrites and sit here and criticize, neo Black Panthers and, and black supremacists that are open carrying. I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool. Listen, let's be absolutely real. The guy sitting on the hood, right? Like this kind of stuff. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm very right wing. I don't think this is how you make your point, all right? I've always said this is political intimidation, all right? Now, when a right-wing person does it too, yeah, no, I totally think that it's actually like a bad idea too, right? So whether you're a boogaloo boy or you're a Black Panther and you're going to go out there and sit on a car hood, for Renee Good, I think this is, strictly speaking, this is a way to intimidate people. All right. So it is what it is. You have to call it out for what it is. All right. And we're being completely honest about open carry protests like this. All right. And this goes for the Black Panthers. It's all sunken cost fallacy from here. Negative credit score just for clicking. Yeah, no, dude, you're already on the list just for watching the live stream. Yeah, bro, totally. That's how that works. So, Black Panthers are awesome in the jungle. Listen, my cat, out here right now, she's my little Black Panther. But listen, these people aren't gonna make it, guys. These people are not gonna make it. Listen, she's got no plates. All right, she's got her plate carrier with no plates. She's got a 22. This is clearly a 22, right? That's like an M&P, like 22 right there, right? She's got, I mean, she's got irons, but her back sight is down. So you're not really going to do anything with that. My cat's name is Ella. I have two cats. Ella and Emma. Ella is the black one. Emma is the fat gray one you guys haven't seen because she is just like old. It ain't the 70s anymore. I know, like, and you know what? Like, I get it. Like, it's your Second Amendment right. You're a black person, right? You totally have a Second Amendment right, just as anyone else does. But I'm definitely not a hypocrite. I'm always consistent on this. I've always said that this is political intimidation, all right? You shouldn't go out and try to prove your point by toting a bunch of guns in public, all right? Like, it's just the wrong way to go about it. I don't think anyone really agrees with it. I have a hard time looking at a bunch of boogaloo boys in their Hawaiian shirts, all right? Agitators to encourage disproportionate actions serves the narrative makers. Yeah, so we see that happening with like Don Lemon, right? Don Lemon and his group, they go into this church to agitate everybody, right? And so far, nothing's really happened to them, right? Like Don Lemon hasn't been banned from like all of South Beach, Miami, right? Don Lemon isn't banned from all of Minneapolis. Like the mayor of Minneapolis hasn't come out and said, Don Lemon, your actions are abhorrent. You are banned. Oy vey, you are banned from Minneapolis. Like, no, they're not going to do that, right? Because he's one of them, right? But he does serve our purposes, though, right? This gay black guy goes in there and disturbs a Christian service. Not only that, I mean, he said he's Christian. Like, guys, we got to be harder on these people that claim Christianity, all right? If somebody's claiming Christianity, all right, and they're not living their life proper, Muslims do this all the time. Muslims call out other Muslims, all right? And they're like, yo, do you even know a prayer? Do you even know a Quran verse? Do you even are you even on your deen? Your deen is like, your positive lifestyle, I guess. What is this? People are debating Clavicular versus Kurt Cobain. Bro, look, is this even a debate? Hey, Snoopers, we would be against the bullies going into a mosque. We are consistent. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing, too. If a groiper, and, groipers actually have kind of done this before, gone into a synagogue and kind of, started protesting and raising hell, shouting, the media is just complete blanket. You're evil. You're like the worst kind of person. Bro, we don't get any mercy whatsoever. These leftists, these black gay leftists, all right, going in there simping for some, dyke that got shot in the face by ICE when they were doing their duty, all right? She should have been at home eating sniz, all right? They're in there disturbing service. Like I said before, I think it should be like blasphemy. I think it should be blasphemy laws. You should enforce them. Things like that, you should get tons of time. What's your coming to Groiper story? I mean, I was libertarian for a long time, I guess, Like I said, I was into guns, liberty, free speech. And then really just, I was listening to like a lot of Dave Smith for a while. He's really, pretty damn good on the Israel stuff, on the Jewish stuff too. He's honest, he's Jewish. And then I got into Nick, I was just perusing. I think I found I've known about Nick for a while, right? But just some Instagram reels for sure. I mean, yeah, I think my friend probably sent me a few Instagram reels, and I was like, damn, this guy's hilarious. I can't believe, I didn't really, I heard all of the nasty things people have said about Nick right before that, and but I didn't have any prejudices going into it. I was like, oh well, everyone gets labeled a Nazi now. I've been yelled at and called a Nazi by people, right? So like in person, right? Like, so I've dude, that freaked me out when you said Renee's girl's children's father committed 2 years before. Oh yeah. So Renee Good's ex-husband, who is the father to two of her kids, he self-deleted himself. Can't say proper word on YouTube, but I just know he Kurt Cobained himself. So that's real. I looked that up. I feel like if it makes a sniz sound, it's probably a good thing. Oh my god, dude. Decrepit. Clav is 20, a child. I know, dude. When I was 20, bro, I look back at how dumb I was. But I mean, Clav is pretty smart for his age. I mean, he's already rich from, he's become super wealthy off of what he's doing. He's got a lot of motion right now. Getting banned from a bunch of clubs in Miami, it's not really that big of a deal, dude. Lemon should go to jail. Yeah. So the kids lost both their parents. Yeah, it's sad, bro. Yeah, it's sad. Orphans. Yeah. Well, I mean, the mom, sorry, mom's gonna go to die for Somalians real quick. What? Are people even comparing Clavicular and Kurt Cobain? I don't even get it. Oh, let's go, dude. He just posted this on True Social. That was for all the Santas watching, yearning for a reason to be a victim. I mean, I'm liking this. I'm liking this right here, guys. This is exactly what I want to see, guys. All right, it should just be one continuous American flag for all of North America. The mom, it's a good thing she won't be able to brainwash him. I mean, yeah. My bit rate is says my bit rate is a bit low. So my bit rate is slightly low. Just let me know if anything goes wrong, guys. Yeah, Greenland for sure. Greenland is definitely going to be a part of America very soon. Oh god. I mean, Pokimane or Valkyrie, Pokimane, all these chicks. Okay, listen to me. If you're a woman, you find yourself at 34, 35, and you have no kids. I mean, it's just sad, bro. What can I say? Your IQ score is 28. Damn, sucks to be you. North America and Northern America, the entire North America should be USA. Absolutely. Yeah. No, amen, bro. Why are Gen Z leaving Canada? Bro, why am I leaving Canada? I'll tell you guys. It's not just because it's cold, it's because it sucks up here. Shout out Cuffham. He's funny as hell. Probably can't show that. Oh yeah, so gonna be redhead libertarian, Fuentes collab. Probably coming out. I don't know that several presidents have tried to buy Greenland all the way back to Andrew Johnson in the 1860s. Yeah, but they got denied by the Danish royalty, right? I mean, it's been pretty obvious for 200 years that like you have to have Greenland. What will happen after Trump, you think? Well, I mean, they're all of his people are going to rip each other apart. You know? Like they're all like Rubio seems to be the guy he's like most on top right now of that. He seems to have the most motion right now out of all of the, the Trump people. I think Rubio is definitely, because they put him in front of all the Venezuela stuff. All of that stuff was really like big shine. So I think they're vying for Rubio right now. I think JD Vance is cooked, to be honest. I think what happened with JD Vance and Clavicular on the Michael Knowles show, how Clavicular he did. Conservatives are in absolute cope right now. JD Vance is the worst candidate that you could possibly run right now. He's so ugly. You're already American, bro. Thumbs up. Thank you, bro. Bro, this Sudeten land right here. All right. We are like what Austria is to Germany. Nick and Epstein. Dude, shout out to Epstein. I can't have kids. I mean, everyone says that, but Jelly Donut got squeezed. Listen, kittens. God always has certain miracles, right? This is one thing I've always believed, just from my pro-life stance, right? Is talking to a lot of couples, right? Is that like a lot of people try to have kids for a long time, and it seems like they can't have kids, and like a miracle just occurs. I'll just say that, right? So I think, being a Christian myself, like I've seen too many stories of people, they're like, I can't have kids. And then, all of a sudden, got a family, right? He thinks JE is cool now. JE, who do you mean by JE? 2028 is up for grabs because Newsom mogs. Absolutely. Newsom does mog. All right. Anyone that is denying that, it's just absolute cope, right? Gavin Newsom looks Aryan. There's no denying that. He has a totally like an Aryan family, all right? Is that like a new joke? What? Jelly Donut got squeezed? Yeah, it's Jelly Donut. JD. He's fat, right? I mean, to me, that's like pretty obvious. So no. Yeah, so 2028, honestly, it's looking like Newsom just wins. Like, what is the meaning of Aryan? Like, what is an Aryan? Bro, what do you mean? It's white people, bro, like Germans. If Nick takes down Vivek in Ohio, Trump will not endorse J.D. Vance, liking J.E. I don't know who you mean by J.E. Oh, yeah, Jeffrey. Bro, it's my boy. Nick takes down Vivek. Yeah, so Nick is actually going to Ohio. All right. It is a new joke. You don't get the irony. People are saying Jeffrey Epstein did nothing wrong for years now. It's hilarious. Like, people are like really late to the meme now, right? Like, it's only white. I taught we're blonde with blue eyes. No, it just means you're of Germanic descent, dude. It means you're like, to be like Aryan means that you're just of like Germanic descent. That's all that means, right? Like, you know. Yeah, so Nick is going to Ohio to I mean, essentially he's going to back anybody that's actually going to be America first in Ohio, and you know, basically he wants to destroy Vivek Ramaswamy's career. Vivek Ramaswamy absolutely deserves to have his career destroyed. By the way, that video of the way his kids are behaving in public, listen, the one thing I've noticed, all right, is that a lot of these foreigners, they don't know how to get their kids in line, all right? They're running all over the place. When I was a kid, all right, my mom made sure that when we're out in public, we're out at a store or something like that, that I'm not running around causing a ruckus, you know, when I'm a little boy, right? So, you know, and I know this is like a lot of people know this, right? It's just good parenting, right? You don't let your kids run around and cause mayhem, right? And the way that Vivek Ramaswamy lets his kids just run around, you know, there's no parenting going on. They just annoy everybody. They're loud. Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy is so annoying. Yeah, Nick's already chased Vivek off Twitter and X while on vacation. So is Nick like ice ironic? So is Nick liking ice ironic too? No, dude. We like, dude, do you watch the show? Like, dude. No, we want mass deportations. No, and they see the signs that people are carrying, all right, at a lot of these rallies, all right, they're carrying pedo protector signs, all right. They actually want to like completely use all of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, all right, to take down any Republican that runs. Because then if you're associated with Donald Trump in any way, if you're right wing, then you're a pedo protector. Don't get me started on the families with kids yelling and throwing shit standing in the cart. Oh my God, dude. Grocery stores are crazy in Ontario now. I mean, everywhere you go now, dude, it's like kids are just like completely misbehaving. I don't know what it is, bro. But it's like, I see like Asian parents tend to keep their kids more in line. But it's really like a lot of black parents and a lot of Indian parents. They just do not care what their kids are up to. They take their kids into a store and the kids are just, you know, running all over the place. Aryan did not mean Germanic. It's a famous historical period. It means something broader. Yeah, I know like the Indo-Aryan, like that kind of stuff, right? I know all about that stuff. When we're talking about what we're talking about, when we're talking about, you know, we're talking about white people, all right? That's what people think of, or we're talking people of Germanic descent, all right? It doesn't mean that you just have blonde hair, blue eyes either. You can brown hair, green eyes, brown eyes, but, you know, let's be real, like blue eyes, you know, you kind of do want blue eyes, right? Blue eyes look better.
How do you respond to criticisms of you about praising Hitler and saying, I love Hitler?
I just think it's crazy because I view Hitler as an historical figure.
Yep.
We were all children of Yakub. Dude, you pull up the picture.
And so I view him in the same pantheon as like Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, Ivan the Terrible. Yep. And if you're like a student of history and you say, I think Caesar is really cool, no one is going to say, what? But he crucified people. He ran an empire. You'd say, okay, but he's part of history. And I view Hitler similarly. And there's this weird, like,
you're talking about this
you
guy?
have to say, like, For example, we were in the club on Saturday, and there was a song played, "All My Niggas Nazis, Heil Hitler," and the club owner puts out a statement.
People don't teach.
We condemn Hitler's atrocities. He's the most diabolical. It's like, what are we doing? Why all the sanctimony
we were all
over
children
this?
of Yakub,
And
dude. It's crazy what
I think
Yakub
Hitler's
did.
an evil figure.
He's an evil figure. Yakub is an evil man. Okay, what Yakub did in creating the ice dwellers. All right, creating. I mean, listen. The act of creating white people was such an inherently evil thing, right? What the evil scientist Yakub did. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. It's a good thing. It's
cool. It goes without saying, as a Catholic,
trust me.
And Catholic doctrine condemns Nazism.
That's a picture of the quality of the owner of the Quality Learning Center.
Can't be a Catholic Nazi. However, he's a compelling figure and a world historical figure that we have to deal with intellectually. And that doesn't mean you support everything he stands for. It doesn't mean you say he's a great guy, he's a good man.
Yeah, it's like that's a nuanced thing too, is that, you know, we're all adults. We can talk about these controversial figures in history and be like, yeah, you know, certain people aren't very cool, right? But, you know, we're not allowed to even have these conversations with normies a lot of the time. You just get shut down before you even have them.
But we have.
It's like, and the thing is too, is I can talk about Genghis Khan, right? I can talk about Genghis Khan all day long, right, with normies, and they're like, "Whew, like what an interesting life that guy lived." And it's like, yeah, didn't he kill like half the like population of China? Didn't he like straight up like wipe out all of Baghdad when that was like a city of like a few 100,000 people? You know, they have statues of Genghis Khan in Mongolia, and no one has a problem with that anymore.
Have to grow up at a certain point with the childish stuff about no, he's evil. That's all he is. That's the only thing we could ever say.
He's the epitome of evil too. If that's Godwin's law, you know, you just the longer you talk about something, the more it's going to come to. But it's Hitler.
Right.
It's literally Hitler. And we even get the same thing with Robert E. Lee, who was brilliant.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like you made the Holocaust into such a religion now that just your average white person is guilty of this original sin that all white people are guilty of this. There is no mercy on us goyim. Okay, we're all collectively guilty. All right, the blood guilt applies to us. All right, and the great Satan, like the Satan of this secular Holocaust religion, is Hitler. All right.
Really in general, but we have to condemn him because of slavery. I feel like everything is taught through a Marxist lens in America,
yes.
A victim oppressor, and this is the biggest one, the Hitler. And you know, the more we talk about it, the more we're going to learn about it. And you know, if he's as bad as he is, which I believe he's very.
Are they doing this in like the Rumble lobby? Is that where they're like doing this podcast? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Is she like a Rumble associate? Like, this looks like something that would be like the Rumble head office. I know, it's just like, it's just thoughts, ideas, free mind thinking. He was such a great artist, by the way. Listen, I failed art school. You know, I know how it goes, all right?
Bad guy. Then why can't we keep talking about that? Why can't we debate that? Why can't we hear exactly what he had to say? Why?
Right.
You know, so
exactly.
We can now. I always thought it was mad weird that, you know, we didn't have, you know, good translations to English of Hitler's speeches for years and years. And there's a good reason, you know, they wanted to suppress what he was saying, right? But now you have AI translated speeches of Hitler, and they kind of blow your mind of how good they are, the voices and the translations. I mean, listen, I'm no expert on AI, but the AI Hitler speeches are very high quality. They're uncanny of how real they sound, really. I think like Patton about World War II. Yeah, Patton was interesting. He had interesting views on World War II. Wasn't Patton, he was like quoted as saying like he didn't think that like white men should be going to war with white men, that it was that America, basically in Britain, France, going to war with Germany is like an insane tragedy, mainly for like the West, for Western civilization and white people. I think he was on something like that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, he said we fought the wrong enemy. Yeah, bro, it is like, it's hard to look back it's hard to look back and be like, oh, I mean, like, you know, that's like the world that we should have lived in. Yeah, like what the Nazis rule Europe, but I mean, in reality, bro, what has it gone to now? Ice lost Tim Dillon and Rogan and Jimmy Dore. Yeah, dude, those guys were not going to make it to begin with. I think Tim Dillon is still like probably the more based out of those guys. Rogan, I still like Rogan, man. I think Rogan is a good guy. I think he's just misled. Jimmy Dore is a leftist. Jimmy Dore is a leftist communist piece of shit. He hates America. He hates anything that's good with America. All right. Do the Jews own one Miami? I think you meant to say own. Do the Jews own Miami? Yeah, it's Florida, dude. You didn't know that? Like, Rogan is too optics orientated. Yeah, no, Rogan is far too like curated now, and also it's the whole Palantir, like Peter Thiel crowd of guys that are surrounding Joe. You know, he had Palmer Luckey on the show. He had Peter Thiel. He had Alex Karp. A few of the big other investors of those companies, of Oracle, Palantir, Anduril, all of these like companies. Didn't he have Sam Altman on? I believe he did, right? H rallies were insane. Amazing orator. Yeah, I mean, Hitler had aura. That's what I'll say for sure. Rogan pushes Lex Friedman on his guest. Oh my god. Patton wanted to take the German army to Moscow. Yeah, I mean, it's debatable, like the strat for sure, but I mean, you probably could have taken Soviet Union at that point. You could have. I mean, I think it's feasible. Rogan pushes Lex Friedman on his guest. Yeah, dude, I hate Lex Friedman. It's like the most annoying from the very first minute that I heard Lex Friedman talk in his very boring, monotone voice. And he tried, you know, if you know anything about Lex Friedman and how he's faked his credentials when it comes to robotics and his like credentials on AI, and you know, it was like MIT, right? He was like basically completely faking his credentials at MIT. It's just gross. He literally posed. So, dude, this is like the most jester shit, all right, from Lex Friedman. So he went to this lecture, all right, where it's a bunch of speakers. They get up and they go do lectures. Oh yeah, MIT lecture, by the way. I know, right? We're about to get into the story, right? So Lex goes up there, and it's like it's almost like an open speakers kind of day. You can just come up and just give your talk to a bunch of students, right? It's like nothing. You're not teaching a lesson, right? You're getting up there and you're just giving a talk, and then you leave. That's all it is, right? It's not a lecture, all right? He was never like actually associated with MIT like whatsoever. He was literally just a guest speaker for like a single class. He gets up there after some guy on the whiteboard, he scribbled all these intense calculations, you know, all over. It looks like, you know, it's just filled with like nerdy math stuff, right? Lexin goes and stands in front of all of these, and this is his profile picture. Guys, this is the profile picture that Lex uses on YouTube, his Instagram, like all this stuff, all of his social media is him standing in front of this whiteboard that has all these equations on it. He didn't write any of those equations, all right? He's standing in front of another man's equations, okay? It's absolutely ridiculous. He stands in front of another man's whiteboard full of math, all right? He didn't even do any of that math. Lex is such a poser. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. Like so his quote unquote like lecture that he did wasn't even a lecture. The profile picture that he took that he uses everywhere is just a complete lie. And then when you actually watch the video, it's short. It's like 20 minutes long, and he doesn't go over anything interesting. It's nothing groundbreaking. He gives just like very base surface level views on like robotics and AI. In 1941, Adolf ordered his second in command shot. Sometimes you got to do that. Let's be real. Sometimes, you know, you got to watch your homies, you know? Why don't you call your homie? What kind of man stands in front of another man's equations? I know, right? What kind of a man stands in front of another man's equations? Dastardly. Trump is going to do the same to JD Vance. Bro, don't say that. We don't want JD Vance to end up like that, bro. Come on. Ban all occult. Yeah. Yeah, that's some esoteric stuff. I mean, listen, guys, we'll save the esoteric stuff for another time, right? It's not for the normies, okay? You know, if I start getting deep into my esoteric knowledge, all right, then, you know, we'll be here all night, all right? But banning the occult, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one for sure, because a lot of his guys were definitely fucking with the occult heavy, right? Like all that neo-paganism. Got to get that sweet MIT email. Oh, yeah, Lex. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he got it. So he... That's one point I forgot. Lex, he got a MIT email by, like, sleuthing his way through the MIT like web system. He ended up giving himself, because he knew somebody there, he ended up getting himself an MIT email and he uses that. Like, that's just the sheer amount of gall that you have to be a fake scientist, all right? Kabbalah stream when? Nah, net bro. I don't know, dude. That might have to be a members only thing, bro. Yeah, I mean, all secret societies being banned. Yeah, I don't trust Masons. You're absolutely real with you guys. I do not trust Masons whatsoever. All those kind of people. 33rd degree people. Adolf mocked Heinrich Hitler dabbling with the occult stuff. Yeah, he thought it was gay. Yeah, like Hitler thought it was super lame. He thought it was jester. I agree, actually. Hitler was actually based. Hitler was a real one for that when he called it jester. Straight up. All this neo-paganism is kind of lame and gay. Russia's the holdout for white Christendom. Yeah, they're pagan. That's the thing too, is that the Russian government, they pose as pagan. They pose as Christian is what I meant to say. They are pagan. Some people should not be public figures. Absolutely. Yeah. Emmanuel Macron's. Oh my god. So Trump is literally screenshotting Macron's DMs and posting them to Truth Social. That's crazy. From President Macron to President Trump, my friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland. Let us try to build great things. I can set up a G7 meeting in Davos in Paris on Thursday afternoon. I can invite the Ukrainians, the Danish, the Syrians, and the Russians in the margins. Let us have a dinner together in Paris together on Thursday before you go back to the US. I mean, listen, I like Macron. I know a lot of people like hate Macron and stuff. But listen, Macron, you don't get it. You don't understand what Trump is doing. You don't understand what Trump is doing on Greenland, dude. Bruh. Like, Macron, come on, bro. You're smarter than this. That's all I would text back. I'd be like, bruh, it's ours. They couldn't even defend it, dude. Denmark got completely destroyed. Like, not even destroyed. They got completely just annexed by Nazi Germany. And then America had to hold on to Greenland for them, and we're like, all right, give it back to you after the war. Yeah, after we also like crossed the whole ocean to liberate your ass. Canada and America had to send troops and boats across the ocean to liberate Denmark. Bro, you guys are lame. It's just ungrateful, right? It's like, no, dude, Macron, actually, they don't have any presence. They don't have any. You're not marry a dude. All right, we'll say that's the thing, like, bro, when you get into like, oh, Macron's, wife is actually secretly a man or whatever, it's like, bro, you lose me. I'm sorry. That's the Candace train. Choo choo. The Candace train has left the building, bro. So no, and Macron, he doesn't get this is just tone deaf, dude. Like, I can set up a G7 meeting in Davos. What? With all the same people that Trump isn't going to listen to. He's not going to listen to Zelensky. What does Zelensky have to do with this? Like, bruh, the Danes they're just a colonialist power over in like Greenland. Like, I bet the Greenlanders wouldn't be much better off without the Danes. And what are the Syrians or the Russians going to bring to the table to talk about this? There's nothing that these people, like, what are the security concerns? Is one of Vladimir Putin's envoys going to show up and be like, oh, now we realize that, oh, you can have Greenland now, America. No, Russia's going to be saying the same thing. Why is that hard to believe that Macron married a man? Because they have children? Like, she's literally had kids. Like, she literally just won in a court case, too. She looks like a woman. She is a woman. No, I don't believe that the first lady of France is a man, dude. Like, are you kidding me? No, go to the Candace Owens stream, dude. You know, go to the crazy house if that's what you believe, you know? We don't believe any of that garbage. Actually, that's actually Russian propaganda. If you didn't already know. Yeah, Candace train left, choo-choo. Crazy train. Going off the rails on a crazy train. Give me a break, dude. That's like Russian propaganda. That's literally Russian propaganda. If you guys don't know, Emmanuel Macron has become the #1 enemy of Vladimir Putin. All right. Well, why is this? Is because France is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, supporters of Ukraine. All right. At a certain point, French troops are going to be stationed in Ukraine. All right. Russia has been attacking all of France's former colonial empire. All right. In Africa, a lot of these former colonies of France that actually still pay tribute and resources to France for forming their countries, for basically giving them civilization. Russia and their Wagner group of mercenaries, and now that Wagner's expanded, it's a new group of Russian mercenaries. They have been operating in conjunction with jihadist groups, with rebel groups, with separatist groups in the Sahel region, all over sub-Saharan Africa, doing coups and overthrowing these French-backed, these EU-backed regimes, right? I mean, a lot of African regimes are backed up by the EU, right? So this is Putin's way of getting at Macron, all right? If the coups in Africa don't work, which a lot lately, the coups have been actually foiled, right? Actually due to American involvement, AFRICOM, all right, U.S. Special Forces Command in Africa, very active, all right? I was actually just watching a great video about this earlier today. AFRICOM has been doing tons of work, tons of counter-coup work, because, you know, America and the EU actually have interests in Africa. It actually does, like, Africa does matter, all right? So no, you can't have instability, all right? Instability in the region is simply just bad for everybody involved, all right? It's bad for Africans, obviously, but it's just bad for everyone involved, all right? There shouldn't be, like, any real reason why Russia should have influence in Africa. What, over the West, over Europe or America? No, America and Europe should be able to tell Africa what to do. Absolutely. There's no reason that should be a problem with any of you, unless you're just openly pro-Russia, all right? Unless you think Russian imperialism, right, or Chinese imperialism, like the Belt and Road Initiative. I don't care about the trans stuff, dude. I literally, like, slop, dude. That's like nothing. I literally do not care, all right? Trans stuff is like the most, like, 2017 coded thing. You're, like, literally, like, dude, you're tuning out. I don't care. And so what, they're trad. They're not nude. They hate America. They're our adversary. You want to simp for Russia, all right? They're pagan and they hate America, all right? They're literally like the communist, like, regime, just like forever, all right? They never stopped, okay? So no, they're the true adversary, actually. Every time America tries to do a deal with Russia, they're always coming to the table with a knife behind their back, with a gun behind their back. So no, they're always in bad faith. So no, I don't think that we can actually have a real, we can't have like real good relations, all right? I'll put it that way, with Russia, all right? Russia is our adversary. So no, it is imperative actually that when it comes to somebody like Macron, he may be like wrong on Greenland and stuff like that. All right. But we need to help keep Europe in line, all right? We can't like, literally, we cannot let Russia win, right? Because like, what does Russia want? Well, Russia wants control of Africa, all right? They do. So does China, right? It's the Belt and Road Initiative, right? That should not be allowed under any circumstance, all right? So no, I think doing counter-coup special forces operations in Africa is totally justified. All right. If it's as simple as we send in a few guys, all right, to stop a coup that Putin is forming, all right, to take out our guys, right, to take out our vassals, all right, then you know what? Then take them out, right? Then don't let them do the coup, right? This is we should control the chessboard as much as possible, all right? That doesn't mean that I want like, intervention overseas all the time. No, absolutely not. But we have to recognize when it's in our strategic interests to keep our adversaries out, right? So that's obviously part of the big reasoning of the Monroe Doctrine, right? Of basically just keeping your adversaries out. All right, so I gotta use the washroom, guys. I'll be right back. You guys watch this clip.
Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace? Yeah, he's been invited. Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace? Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months. Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace? Yeah, he's been invited. Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace? Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months. Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace? Yeah, he's been invited. Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace? Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months. Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace? Yeah, he's been invited. Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace? Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join.
All right, what's he saying?
Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace? Yeah, he's been invited. Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace?
Is this like the Gaza peace thing?
Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like...
Bro, throwing shade on Macron like that, bro. I thought Trump and Macron were boys. What the hell, bro? He's throwing him under the bus, bro. Macron's sitting back. He's like, what the hell, bro? I thought we were cool. Bruh.
Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But He doesn't have to join.
Funniest president of all time, and it ain't even close.
It to me a little bit differently, but if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months. Have you invited
Bro, cooked, absolutely cooked him. Listen, I like Macron. Macron is funny, man. I mean, people hate on Macron so much that it makes, you know, it makes you want to like him, you know. Go up. I mean, ice baby indeed. Ice baby. Bruh. Honestly, I can't wait. I'll tell you guys what, like, I can't wait until Canada becomes America, because we really need ice. We have enough of the normal ice up here. We need the government ice, all right? It's way too much people that are here that shouldn't be here. Out of all the first ladies, I think Barbara Bush looks like a man the most. Yeah. His wife situation. It's crazy, though. Is it? Seems kind of normal in French, right? New Chinese air bases? Yeah, they're building these. It's like close to India, so oh yeah, the Indians are like they're not big about that. I mean, Barbara Bush, like, let's be real, bro. Barbara Bush is pretty Barbara's an old name, Barbara. See, she looks like a man. I don't think so, dude. She looks like an old lady, dude. Dude, come on. You say everyone's a... Come on, bro. It's an old lady. Come on, bro. Say it's a man. That's mean, bro. I know she's like young pictures. That's a fella. You think that's a fella? Born 1981. No, that's not her. Yeah, I don't see it, dude. I don't see it. Yeah, Bushes are skull and bones. We know that. She's not a man, dude. She had kids. It's ridiculous. You want Palantir installed in Canada, bro? You even watch the show? Thumbnail mog. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, definitely like interaction with you guys. Do the streams more often. You know, I'm content junkie. You know, I just do this for the fun, really, honestly. There's a lot of people out here who treat their content creation like a job. You know, I look at it like, you know, it's kind of not even a real job. If you can do like something that's not a real job for a living, I mean, you should love what you do, right? So.
If anybody thinks that Norway doesn't control the Nobel Prize, they're just kidding. They have a board, but it's controlled by Norway, and I don't care what Norway says. But if anybody thinks that Norway,
I don't care what Norway says. Why would you care what Norway says, dude? Like, dude, they're a bunch of like they're all on welfare. First of all, it's a crazy amount of welfare. It's 1:40 a.m. in California. Kittens, you got to get some sleep. Seriously, kittens for Christ, you need some sleep. It's getting late. It's 4:39 over here, Eastern time. Appreciate you too, Huskmeister. Shout out California. Oh man, I really need the sun. I got like no sun up here in Canada, guys. It's pretty brutal. My sleep schedule is just messed up too. Like I wake up probably like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, you know? Yeah, see you next time, kittens.
Have you ever heard of Do you like my Lily?
This must be from your communication degree, but unfortunately, I'm confused.
Yo, we can move on, bro.
There's a clip of you
Lee?
making fun of lashes. Lily.
Stupid. I'm sorry, I do not recognize this clip. Maybe we can find it. I don't think I've done that.
Maybe you forgot.
I don't think so.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember.
Maybe they'll remember.
That's why.
Delusion!
Have you ever heard?
That was brain rot right there. Oh my god, that hurt my head. I'm sorry, guys. That hurt me. I was talking about working 18-hour days before stream. I was working at a restaurant doing security. I'd work in morning shift and dinner and security, and I was like 18-hour day was brutal. I mean, bro, we all had like different kinds of jobs and stuff before doing this, right? We talked about this before, but did like the film business, worked in like lighting and stuff like that. So just like heavy like cables, boxes, made of steel for, power distribution, setting up lights, just all that kind of stuff. I did like a bunch of other stuff in the film business, just whatever they'd give me, really. I didn't really like it. It was backbreaking. It was union work too, so there wasn't really like a lot of upward momentum, not like a lot of ways to move up. It was pretty decent pay, as a young man, making like thousands of dollars a week, right? I mean, it's a pretty hard job, but it was totally worth it for the time. But it was mainly worth it because it made me realize I didn't really want to work like a hard labor job my entire life. I'll be real, I didn't want to do that. And it was mainly because I wasn't seeing like the gains, the returns that I knew I could be making had I applied myself to something else, something that's scalable, right? And scalability is one of the most important things. If you're putting in 18-hour days, but you're getting the same paycheck every single time, it's like, no, theoretically, you should be working a job where, yeah, you're putting in 18-hour days every day, but you're making more money every time you do that shift. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer, like I told you guys earlier, I dropped out of art school, and from there I was like, well, I went to school originally. I wanted to make games. I wanted to get into the video game industry. I know it's kind of cringe and jester, but I actually wanted to do that. I actually wanted to work on games. Of course that didn't really end up happening. So once I dropped out, I started making my own game, and that didn't really go anywhere. I still have the files just like sitting on my computer and stuff, and maybe one day when I say I get rich or whatever and get a bunch of money, I can hire dev team of Asians to make my game for me. Then I'll probably do that. So that ambition definitely like is still there. Like I definitely do still have ideas and stuff like that. I still like jot them down and stuff. So I dropped out of that. I dropped out of school, and then I started working on my own game, in Unity, and learning to like code and make like 3D assets and like animating everything, and then realizing that I also had to like write a whole story and build a world and like possibly like do voice acting and get voice actors. And then at a certain point, I was like realizing, I was like, oh damn, I see why game dev teams are so big, right? Because my ambitions for the game are pretty big. I wanted to make like a pretty like an RPG. So I kind of shelved that, and I realized that I'm just gonna get into content. I realized that what I was doing, stuff at first is game is a whole ass endeavor, bro. You get much more appreciative for what game devs go through when you try to make like your first like indie game. Keep in mind, I was going into it kind of the wrong way. Like I was trying to make like a 3D kind of action adventure, RPG. I guess you could say it's almost like a Souls-like in a way. I hate that label. I think it's super jester and cringe to call your game a Souls-like. But essentially it was an action adventure RPG, and I think the most difficult part was probably the coding. I'll be real. Like, I didn't even get very far into coding until I realized that, my brain really wasn't there. I'm just much more into like the creative kind of aspect. We need more right-wing games. We need right-wing games. Yeah. I mean, there's certain games out there that are right wing, bro. I mean, think about it. Like, Fallout, the best game genre. Best game genre. Damn, that's hard, bro. That's so difficult, bro. I mean, if I say RPG, that's just so broad. That's cool. I really want to make a game for years, but I can't really do it myself. Way too complicated. Maybe if I start coding at 9 instead of music. Oh, dude, totally. Yeah, no, I started like music at like 8 or 9 years old. I should have started like coding, but now AI is going to code everything, so it's probably actually better that it stuck to music. Fallout, definitely. Yeah, Fallout is based, bro. Like, the lore of Fallout is super hard. That's why I hate the Fallout show and like Fallout 4. It's like total garbage to me. Like Fallout 4 and the TV show is just absolute slop, right? But the plot line of like 1, 2, 3 in New Vegas is just super hard, dude. Like the whole annexation of Canada, like finding that out as a kid, like going through that whole arc, I was like, damn, bro, this is super hard. Like, because China is invading Alaska and America needs to get their military assets up to Alaska, but Canada is so compromised, a lot like we are now. Canada's compromised by China, and so they don't want the presence of American military in Canada. So the Americans just straight up annex Canada, and it's brutal, right? Like the opening, if you guys know the opening to Fallout 1, where they show the annexation, or Fallout 2, but I think it's 1. They show the annexation of Canada. It's brutal, dude. Like early Fallout was super brutal, dude. People forget, like the show and Fallout 4 can't be gay. Yeah, Hollywood ruins everything. Absolutely, dude. I hope GTA 6 isn't too cooked, bro. GTA 6. I swear to God, guys. I mean, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it. I'll stream it for sure. I'll show you. Listen, when it comes out, sure. But do I think it's gonna be a good game? No. I'll be honest. From everything that I've seen about GTA 6, it looks like, first of all, all the advertising they're talking about the graphics, right? When the marketing focuses so hard on graphics, they're not really like focusing on gameplay. Rockstar's not known for their innovative gameplay. All right, they're pretty bad at coming up, and the thing is, let's be real, guys, Red Dead Redemption 2 is overrated. I know there's like been some people recently, some streamers say this is an underrated game or whatever. Give me a break, bro. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a boring game. All right, there's barely anything going on in the storyline. You guys are like, oh, the storyline's great. No, it's not. It's boring. All right, it's very forgettable. The gameplay is sluggish and boring. And let's be absolutely honest about GTA 5, all right? They haven't really done anything very good with GTA 5. Like, it's been absolute slop, all right? It's just slop after slop update, more pay-to-win garbage. GTA Online, yeah, it has to be modded to hell for it to be even playable. It's not a very fun game. It was fun back in the day. Early GTA Online was good. I'm just not about it, bro. So thoughts on the failed coup in Iran? Yeah, I mean, we're not over. Everyone right now is acting like, we're out of the weeds in terms of going to war with Iran. I think that, yeah, it's not over. You're going to see military action by the spring or summer. That's what I think. Chinese to get the guns out of Canadian citizens' hands. What do you think about Escape from Tarkov? So yeah, China. Okay, the gun confiscation is. We know that how infiltrated the Canadian government is. We know that they are, of course, owned by China. China, of course, basically allows zero private ownership of firearms whatsoever. They're exclusively for military and police. There's like basically zero private gun ownership in China. It's pretty clear that, this kind of, no guns for Canadians policy, this is in lockstep with the Communist Party of China. This is explicitly anti-American. Guns are an important part of Canadian history and society. Canada as a nation wouldn't exist if it were not for firearms, if it weren't for settlers crossing the Great Plains with firearms, right? It was entirely built on the fur trade to begin with, right? So you really didn't have an economy here until you had a lot of French, what do they call them, right? They had a name for them, voyageurs. I believe they call them they're French voyageurs, right? But they essentially worked under the Hudson's Bay Company, right? And it was big money to get furs, right? And the Russians were actually doing the exact same thing in Siberia. They were making huge money off of pelts and furs. So if you didn't have, and this is the major reason, actually, this is the incentive, this is the financial incentive for Europeans mainly to come to this is like the main financial incentive for Europeans to come to the Americas is to get furs. It's the easiest, most lucrative. Basically, you're printing money back in the day. This would be like the easiest farm that you could come up with. Yeah, Rockstar is lazy and greedy now. I mean, yeah, bro. What can I say? Like they make great games. Bro, I'm gonna go back okay, guys. We're gonna do me and my homie, my good friend, Stone World. He hasn't been on the show yet, but Stone World. I'll probably link his channel somewhere. But him and I, we're probably going to do some streams together. We do some content together. He's a good friend. So you're talking about this, and he's been playing a lot of San Andreas online. I mean, it's dope, guys. Come on, San Andreas online. That's super hard. Like, give me a monster, bro. I'm putting on some Breaking Benjamin, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to be playing San Andreas online. It's super hard. What do I think about Escape from Tarkov? I haven't played it yet. I have a friend who has played the shit out of it, and he likes extraction shooters. That's kind of his thing. I've never been a big extraction shooter type. The cheating in Escape from Tarkov, that whole thing, that kind of threw me off of that game. I think the fights against NPCs are cool, like the bots. Seems like the bots actually have really good AI. They seem fun to fight against. At least they seem funner than players, because it seems like players are mostly cheating. But yeah, I've never played Escape from Tarkov. San Andreas with the boys brings back memories, bro. I remember when the San Andreas Online mod came out. Okay, that's gonna date me super hard, all right? But like having bro, great memories, bro. I like GTA 4 quite a bit too. GTA 4 in a lot of ways is pretty peak.
Yo, Mike, it's Jester maxing. I feel like we could keep walking through and try to snipe out some hosts. Eventually we'll get something, yeah. We just have to keep changing it up, because it seems like everyone's gonna be here, and we're gonna have the best audio here.
Yeah, Bully is a great game, bro. Oh my god, that was on PS2, right? Yeah, Bully was great. Ooh, this guy had a heart attack. Ooh, damn. Rip.
Celebrating Heil Hitler and Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, we already covered this. Covered this earlier. Yeah, we're screaming Heil Hitler. Bully had awesome music. Yeah. Bro, is Bully like the Yay album? Bully, is that out yet? Look at this. DOW rapid response. Okay, this is what they're posting. Okay, it's a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like the AI photoshopped Department of War rapid response post is a bit weird, is it not? What's going on with the B2 and the American Revolutionaries? I get it. It's cool for sure. Can we just like do more government stuff though? Can we actually, instead of like posting memes, can we actually do government stuff? Yeah, Macron. Come on, Manuel. Yeah, like Europe's not going to do anything in defending Greenland. Like, what are their fantasies? You had Mark Carney talking about, you know, Canada's going to help defend Greenland. What are you talking about? Hey, we can't have violence on YouTube like that. You got to be careful on you guys. I'm thinking about Kick, because Kick you can just kind of stream like whatever. There's like almost no rules, right? Are there like any rules on Kick? Because I've been thinking about that, and it's like it's fun to stream on YouTube, but I think it'd be funner probably to stream on Kick, right?
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Mm-hmm. Is it safe to say that?
Hey, that's such an easy layup, bro. Like, let's be, yeah, come on. We all know if you're a woman and you're like getting abortions, you're probably not a looker, right? Will Aiden Ross get Nick an account? Yeah, he's actually, he's not just getting Nick an account. He's actually in the process of working out a deal for Nick with Kick right now. So if you guys are aware, Sneako got a Rumble deal. So he has like basically a salary, I think, from Rumble. He's like their big creator, Sneako is. Aiden Ross owns a percentage of Kick, and he's basically like their flagship creator. I like Aiden. I check out his streams from time to time. I like more of the guys that are around him, like Cuff him and stuff like that. There's, you know, he's got a lot of real funny friends. Oh, this is the Danes showing up. Yeah, so Nick's about to get Mark Levin's old gold sponsor. Mark Levin had a huge gold sponsor. And now they say they don't like Mark and they want to support Nick. I think Nick has said it's like worth about $1 million a year or something like that. He's just got to do like an ad read, something like that. Like, so easy, dude. Are you kidding me? Like $1 million a year. And he's probably going to get a Kick deal. You know anything about, if you get one of these Kick deals that Aiden Ross is, yeah, $1 million for just doing like gold ad reads, right? And I believe it's just like, that's like a starting point, right? If he like outperforms like certain metrics, I believe, you know, that's how sponsorships usually work, right? Okay, that's a joke. I mean, Greenland, thanks for holding on to it. I mean, you can say what you will about the Danes, all right? At least they're holding on to it for us until we take it. More like Don Lemon. Am I right, guys? Yeah, he's done. Don Lemon is done. He's cooked. Yeah, this will be the end of Don Lemon for sure.
Should the police treat people different based on their race?
No. However, I think that, you know, people don't like where that leads.
Yeah.
Because if you treat everybody the same and you say, okay, the police are going to arrest everybody that commits crimes and go to the neighborhoods where there's the most crime, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
They're going to arrest a lot of black people. A lot of black people are going to be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they did all this abolish the police stuff, because they said
Trump is going to tariff Legos. No, Redditor grabs his neck beard and screams no. Like, dude, not my Star Wars Lego collection, dude. What, they're gonna 200% tariff that, dude? Go and tell Reddit. Oh my god, dude.
No, There's too many black people in jail. Too many black people getting shot by the cops. It's like, well, to me, I'm just in favor of all the criminals being in jail. White, black, I don't care.
Yeah, it's exactly it, bro. It's like just because like your community commits like a bunch of the same crimes over and over again, you know, and you're not even that good at it either. Like, let's be real. Like, black people, they commit a lot of crime, but they're not even that good at crime. Greenland doesn't even like the Danish government, from what I understand. Yeah, no, they don't, dude. Like, ask a Greenlander. Like, they'll be like, yeah, this is our colonizers, dude. We don't like them. DR3 lemon. What is that?
If they happen to be all black, well, you know, it is what it is. So I think they should be fair, but, you know, again, people aren't going to like maybe some of the disparities that arise from that.
If you go into a black community, there's going to be more.
The fact they have a derogatory term for their older, wiser people, old head. I mean, old head just means that you like older stuff, right? In general, right? Like, it's like generally a hip hop term, right? Like, calling somebody an old head, that comes from like, you know, saying that somebody's like an old head in terms of like their taste for like hip hop, right? Or just old
More
shit in
black
general.
Criminals, and you know, there's culture. There's a culture of violence that.
Yeah, the poor redhead lib couldn't get a conference room. Yeah, this is super awkward and weird. Like, I know that. So we were just talking about Aiden working out a kick deal for Nick, and apparently it's going to be super lucrative. We all know that about kick, right? Yeah, the audio is a joke. I know. Like, what is going on with the redhead libertarian? So, like, what are they doing here? This looks like the Rumble headquarters. Okay. This is really weird. So did they ask Nick to come here to talk to him because he's getting a kick deal? So they want to, you know, Rumble actually might want to sign him, you know, kind of like Sneako. Or did she ask to be here because she's associated with Rumble? Like, she wanted to do the interview here. I'm curious of why we're doing this in the lobby of like Rumble HQ, if that's where we are.
Does go towards black people, that doesn't go towards white people. And
Nick Spence forever saying Israel controls USA, and then Israel controls USA, takes Venezuela, and he turns it to a neocon. That's very funny, dude. This is the brain rot I'm talking about. Like, not everything has to be the Jews, dude. Like, that is like so low IQ, dude. Like, and yeah, like, we're gonna filter you out when we say, yeah, it's not Israel is literally behind everything. We think there's other factions of power competing on this planet. All right. It's not just the Zionists and the Jews. All right. It's like the Chinese and the Russians. Okay. There's a lot of other people, the Masons, like, when we break, dude, the Arabs, like, there's a million other groups vying for control. White people, we're vying for control too. That's according to Nick, dude. Yeah, no, you're low IQ, dude. You can't understand it.
Community is.
Yes.
You know, and then it's just the way that it is.
Yeah, Nick is being super consistent. Nick has since 2019, literally since 2019. You can go back and find Nick's old clips from when you all, you know, baby faced, you know, and he's saying the exact same thing about Venezuela that he said, you know, over these past few months. So does this deal mean Nick can finally get good security and he can please stop walking around in public like a normie? Yeah. So, I mean, I was talking about that earlier, but Nick walking around in downtown South Beach, Miami, that was, you know, listen, I was fearing for his safety. Like, what can you say, right? Like, people just can come up to you and Charlie Kirk you at any time. That's really concerning, you know? Like, yeah, and security is super expensive. This deal is going to be the end of super chats. I don't get it. Like, why would you think it's the end of super chats? Kick has the best deal when it comes to super chats. Like, Kick doesn't care what you say. That's the thing about Kick, is you can basically say literally anything. R.I.P. Nick's miserable super chats because he's getting on a bigger platform. I can't show that. Yeah, Nick's always been consistent, bro. You can call Nick whatever you want, but you can't call him inconsistent. Oh, it's 5 a.m. over here, guys. Oh, 3 hours. It's a pretty good stream. I'll probably stream again tomorrow when I get up or something like that after I shower. If he gets 1 mil from the gold ad and another chunk of change from Kick, he won't need our lame super chats. Nick hates the fact that he has to read low IQ super chats. I mean, yeah, listen, guys, like, if you were subjected to the kind of super chats that he did and, like, you had to read them, like, you have to read them, come on, guys. Let's be real. You would hate it too. Right. No, I want Nick to have, listen, is he going to make, like, the same amount of money? No, he's going to be making a lot more money. And I think it's a lot more important that he can afford security, right? It's extremely expensive. Like, armed security following you around like that. That's a crazy bag, bro. Like, to be spending on just on just existing, bro. Like, did you guys hear in Tate's live, it was Sneako's live stream when they were at Tate's house. And they were talking about security with Fuentes and Tate. And Andrew goes, yeah, like this year, I've probably, it's been my highest cost, right? What did he say? I think Tate said it costs around $500,000 a month just for security for me. Like, thankfully he's making like what, $50 million like already in like the first, not even the first month of 2026. Aiden gets Nick some IDF guards. I mean, they don't even have to be IDF, bro. Why they gotta be IDF? Bro, Aiden is not like that, bro. Like, Aiden takes heat from Jews all the time, bro. Like, Aiden is not like he's not like Super Zio, bro. He's not like a Zog agent like that. Like, the IDF guards. Bro. WWE Raw. Wrestling going on. My homies are into wrestling. I hope Nick never kisses the wall, bro. Like, what is with you guys where you think that like Nick is going to like switch sides on you guys one day? Like, it's not happening, dude. Like, look at these guys like Ian Carroll. All right, Ian Carroll goes on. All right, and Ian Carroll goes on Roseanne Barr's podcast. All right, Roseanne Barr, who I know you're joking. I'm just fucking with you, bro. No, but I mean, like, listen. Ian Carroll goes on Roseanne Barr's show, all right? That's why anyone that's, like, telling you, oh, you should listen to Ian Carroll or Candace Owens, bro, it's like, no, they're literally going on Roseanne Barr's show. She says that America deserves to fall if America doesn't support Israel. Like, how can you listen to a guy like that? And these are the grifters, bro. Like, people will call you a grifter just for, like, just for, like, making content about anything, right? But you can tell a grifter is they'll actually just keep pumping out slop even though that they know what they're pumping out is wrong, is stupid. It's just untrue. So you're a grifter, So. Alright, guys, it's about... Yeah, it's past 5 where I'm at. Like I said, I'll probably stream it again tomorrow. Probably around the same time. Probably start a little bit earlier. I'm going to start today 3 hours ago. Yeah, so I started at 2 in the morning, eh? That's pretty good. Soldier boy. W Stream, great job. Thanks, bro. Thanks, W Stream, indeed. You guys showed up. Hey, it's only a W if you guys show up. You guys are the real entertainment. Later, bro. Have a good night. What guitar do you have? Oh, I got a bunch of guitars, bro. I got like a classical guitar, like a Yamaha. I got mostly Fender electrics. Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep posting guitar videos. VOD will probably be up on the channel shortly after the stream ends. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hitting up the stream. Blasphemer.